Chapter 1105. The two pairs of wings were like incomparably intricate machinery, as they fused layer by layer. Even the engravings on the two treasures fused together, forming an even larger and more profound engravings. Endless pressure emanated from it. Looking closely at this scene, it felt like a long time. In truth, it only took a few tens of seconds before it ended. Everything regained its calm. Only the huge silver wings were left in mid-air. It was extremely beautiful. Unlike the other treasures Luo Feng commonly saw, it was instead extremely beautiful. 4 wings. Luo Feng looked at the silver wings treasure. After fusing, it had a total of 4 wings. Come, Killer Wu Yue, let me feel your current power. Luo Feng still called the wings Killer Wu. In the distance, the silver wings in mid-air immediately became a silver light and merged into Luo Feng's body. Behind Luo Feng's back, 2 pairs of silver wings filled with endless pressure. The wings spread out and seemed to affect the surrounding space and time. Space and time. The wings treasure I got from the Tian Night. The engravings are related to the time laws. My original Killer Wu Yue was specialized in space. The two combining can actually affect space and time. The 4 wings behind Luo Feng slightly trembled. God energy constantly poured into the wings, carefully studying the engravings on the wings. Even though he didn't train in the time laws, the engravings on the wings were still within his research range. With Luo Feng's research level, after studying for half an hour, he was able to unleash the initial power of this new wing treasure. Who? Luo Feng's 4 wings swiftly move. So. In the sky above the endless dark ocean, a blur of countless Luo Fengs appeared. There were over 10 million of them. Unbelievable wings. This move can actually cause chaos in space and time. Then this new Killer Wu Yue's first form shall be chaotic space and time. Luo Feng said softly. Before the fusion, the second form of the Killer Wu Yue could cause chaos in space. The second form of the flowing light wings could cause chaos in time. And the first form of the new wings. Chaotic space and time. Actually, it was a combination of space and time, causing the space and time to be completely chaotic. The movement would be even more unpredictable. And this was just the first form. There's still the second form. Luo Feng carefully studied. After a total of 3 days, Luo Feng finally chose to give up. After all, his time law's foundations were too weak. Even with his profound knowledge of the engravings and his familiarity with the Wu Killer Wings, he was able to deduce the first form. But controlling the second form was too difficult. According to Luo Feng's guess, the second form of the new wings should be the combination of the third form of the Wu Killer Wings and the third form of the flowing light wings. And I feel that this new wing is incomplete, frowned Luo Feng. Although the mysterious patterns on the new wings are extremely profound, a part of them should be missing. Luo Feng's vision was extremely high. He had even created the Universe Lord's ultimate technique before, and he frequently studied the engravings of the miniature universe. Therefore, even though he hadn't studied it thoroughly, he could sense that the mysterious patterns on the new wings were missing. Don't tell me there's a third pair of wings? Luo Feng was shocked. That was right. There were definitely more than just 2 pairs of wings. According to his understanding of the mystical patterns, there were definitely still missing parts. There should be a third pair of wings. Just based on the power of these first 2 wings, they should be considered top-level treasures. Luo Feng was shocked within. If I were to fuse with the third pair of wings, its power would definitely explode. Let's not think too much about it for now. The Primal Chaos City teacher had the Wu Killer Wings for so many years, yet he didn't realize it was incomplete. I was lucky enough to meet the Tian Night. Only then did I realize the 2 wings were attracted to each other. Luo Feng knew too, this couldn't be blamed on the Primal Chaos City leader, because the pure Wu Killer Wings or the pure Flowing Light Wings. From the engravings alone, one couldn't see any flaws. From the engravings alone, the Wu Killer Wings were pure space flow, while the flowing light wings were pure time flow. Very perfect, one couldn't see any flaws at all. However, the moment the two combined, one would realize that after the space and time combination, there was a missing core. And because of the missing core, the power of the wings didn't reach its ideal limit. Back then, when he only had the Wu killer wings, he didn't even succeed in researching the third form. Right now, to understand the new Wu killer wings' second form, Luo Feng tried for 3 days and knew that it would take a long time. No matter, this wing is much stronger than before. As for the third pair, it'll depend on luck. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. In the distance, the treasures floating in mid-air began to be categorized. Ocean clone. Beside Luo Feng appeared a 9,000 kilometers tall god body. Ocean clone. It's carrying a high-level treasure armor, a domain-type supreme treasure and a high-grade supreme treasure saber. Luo Feng swiftly made the ocean clone equip himself. The high-level treasure armor and domain treasure came from the Tian Ao Knight. As for the high-level treasure blade, it was from the 5 universe tyrants he had killed in the past year. I'll bring some precious materials, many treasures, some items etc. The ocean clone will return to Earth to guard. Luo Feng thought. So, the ocean clone swiftly shrunk to a height of 1.8 m, dressed in black armor and purple blade, exchanging glances with Luo Feng, after which he teleported away from the God Country. I'll leave the treasures in the God Country, there's no point in bringing them along. Shem. Teacher Tru Yen probably lacks treasures too, I'll pick a suitable one for him later. Luo Feng smiled. With a step, he brought the golden horned beast and Masha clansmen and left. In space outside Earth. Dressed in black armor and carrying a purple blade on his back, the ocean clone stood in the atmosphere. His god energy enveloped the entire Earth. From today onwards, he would silently protect Earth and also the Luo family. The reason why Luo Feng made this decision was because after roaming the primal star for close to a year, he realized bringing the ocean clone along was useless. In terms of god energy purity, the ocean clone was 1/10 of the golden horned beast. In terms of size, it was only 1/1000 th. With such a huge difference between the god bodies, then even if the earth body expended a little in battle, he could easily replenish it from the golden horned beast. With the golden horned beast's huge body, it could automatically recover in moments. And self-destruction? The power of the ocean clone's self-destruction couldn't even compare to Luo Feng's Universe Lord ultimate technique, Golden Light. Hence, god energy replenishment, battles etc. didn't require the ocean clone. However, the ocean clone's own battle strength was extremely strong. The moment he was equipped with the high-level treasure armor, blade, domain treasure, along with the Universe Lord ultimate technique, Golden Light, his battle strength was only slightly weaker than the Earth body by a level, even stronger than normal Universe Tyrant. It was enough to protect Earth. Even though Luo Feng had long left a few tokens to his family, at a critical moment, he would be able to sense it. However, once he sensed the tokens, he would have to rush back. It was still better to protect it personally. The ocean clone headed to Earth to protect it. Luo Feng's body headed back to Primal Star, far away in the Ring of Thorns Alliance, in front of a towering palace. A Universe Lord was casting spacetime reversal. A figure shrouded in black fog stood in front of the palace, the surrounding spacetime constantly reversing, and yet he stood there silently, the backlash of the universal nomological laws being transmitted layer by layer to the towering Universe Lord's divine body. After a while, everything returned to normal. That Universe Lord nodded towards the distance and immediately returned to his palace. "Thank you, Universe Lord." In the distance, a huge man who was watching silently bowed. "I'm alive, I'm alive?" The Fiend Mist Knight stood there stunned, after which he revealed a look of joy. "Fiend Mist Knight." The huge man roared softly, causing the distant Fiend Mist Knight who was still in a state of joy to wake up and turn to look. The moment he saw the huge man, He flew over and said respectfully, Fan Nua Castle Master. I told you to follow that Tian Hung. I would rush over immediately. However, I didn't expect you to fall while I was waiting for your news. The huge man said solemnly, I specially came to ask the Hu leader to reverse time and revive you. As for the price of reviving, I'll bear it. The fiend Mist Knight let out a sigh of relief when he heard that. The price of reviving in time and space wasn't small. Just what happened? How did you fall? Fan Nua Castle Master roared. It's like this. The fiend Mist Knight said. That day I saw Tian Hung and a golden horned beast, one in front and one behind, flying into the space whirlpool. Hence I went to report to you. After which I received your orders to follow. The moment I entered the space whirlpool, I saw the battle in the distance. The two warriors both had domain treasures. Tian Hung indeed had a domain treasure. Fan Nua Castle Master snorted coldly. He was lucky to get it. At that time they were fighting. The fiend Mist Knight said, I also suspected that Tian Hung was within, hence I watched carefully, but I didn't dare enter the domain. The battle between the two was intense. The domain treasures were equally matched. I finally saw it clearly. One was indeed Tian Hung, the other was the golden horned beast. Fan Nua Castle Master listened carefully. Tian Hung was obviously at a disadvantage. He quickly fled. The fiend Mist Knight said, Fled? At a disadvantage? Fan Nua Castle Master was shocked. That golden horned beast is so strong. Did you not recognize which knight of the Space Beast Alliance the golden horned beast is? I don't recognize it, I've never seen it before. The fiend Mist Knight shook his head. Fan Nua Castle Master was curious. One was fleeing and the other was chasing. I had to follow, I didn't want to be shaken off. But at that moment, the fiend Fog Venerable revealed a look of disbelief. While they were chasing each other, the world suddenly darkened. I was completely immersed in the endless darkness, and the surroundings were filled with endless dark air currents. Darkness, darkness. Fan Nua Castle Master let out a look of shock. Could it be chaos energy? P.S. 2 chapters completed. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1106. What chaos current? The fiend asked curiously. The Thorn Ring Alliance didn't have its own universe, so the fiend didn't know what it was. Fan Nua Castle Master looked at the fiend. That's the energy from the beginning of the universe. It's the source of all energy that we know of. The source of all energy? The fiend was shocked. You don't have to ask. Fan Nua Castle Master frowned. How did you encounter chaos current on the primitive star? Tell me in detail. Fan Nua Castle Master was one of the top tyrants of the universe. His position was extremely high, and he knew many secrets of the universe. Naturally, he knew that chaos current couldn't appear on the primitive star. It's like this. The fiend explained. I was watching the golden horned beast and Tian Ho fight from afar. Suddenly, the sky turned dark, as if I had fallen into another world. The surroundings were filled with dark currents. I immediately knew that I had fallen into the enemy's dangerous move. I immediately begged for mercy, hoping that the warrior would let me go. But it was useless, following which, the dark currents split into two, like a giant millstone, trapping me in the middle. Under the pressure of the millstone, my god body was rapidly depleting, forcing me to choose to self-destruct. Fan Nua Castle Master nodded slightly, but he was secretly shocked. It really was chaos current. It should be some special treasure. Based on what Fan Nua Castle Master knew, some special treasures, or the scariest existences within the universe Lord, could create some super strong techniques that could create chaos current. It was just a golden horned beast and a Tian Ho. There wasn't a need for a universe lord to be involved. If there really was a universe lord, then killing the fiend would be even easier. There wouldn't be a need to use such a heaven-defying technique. Fan Nua Castle Master thought to himself, Then there's only one possibility: it should be some special treasure. Although Fan Nua Castle Master's knowledge was very high, he didn't know that a perfect life form could obtain the strongest natural ability. That was already a very high-level secret in the universe, so he didn't guess that it was a natural ability. Then the golden horned beast's domain type treasure, what kind of domain does it display? Fan Nua Castle Master stared at the fiend Fog Knight. Even though there were many domain type treasures in the universe, every domain type treasure had a different domain type treasure. They all had their own unique characteristics. From the domain type treasure, he should be able to guess the background of the golden horn beast. After all, Fan Nua Castle Master knew nothing about the golden horned beast. Domain? The fiendish fog supremacy recalled and said, "Golden River, a vast and mighty golden river." Right, there were a few exotic beasts. When the domains of the two supreme treasures collided, the strange beast and Paragon Tiandao's domain were like giant boulders. As for how many strange beasts there were, I couldn't see them clearly because I was too far away. Golden River? Mutated beast? Fan Nua Castle Master creased his eyebrows before his eyes lit up. Human Luo Feng? Human Luo Feng? The fiend Mist Knight was curious. "You can leave now," Castle Master Fan Nua ordered. The Venerable of the Demonic Fog Venerable was slightly stunned and unwilling. Fan Nua Castle Master looked at him coldly. The Venerable of the Demonic Fog Venerable could only grit his teeth and become a beam of light as he flew away. He cursed within, "Damn Fan Nua Castle Master, I followed your orders to follow Paragon Tiandao and he killed me. Even though I've reversed time and space to revive, all my treasures are gone. Not a single one. I've really suffered a huge loss this time. I'm really unlucky." Fan Nua Castle Master looked coldly at the distant Venerable of the Demonic Fog Venerable. "I've already paid the price of reversing time and space to revive, and you still want benefits?" Fan Nua Castle Master stood in mid-air and pondered. "Human Luo Feng? That domain treasure is the human race's Nine Ming River. And the Nine Ming River is in the hands of the human Luo Feng." Fan Nua Castle Master thought. The Nine Ming River originally didn't belong to the human race. After a few battles, the treasures changed hands and finally landed in the hands of the human race. Luo Feng's name has been quite famous recently. Because of him, many beings from the various races of the universe have fallen. Fan Nua Castle Master naturally received the news long ago and knew that Luo Feng had the Nine Ming River, and because the Venerable of the Demonic Fog Venerable was on the primal planet, his position was average. He only knew that many other race knights had fallen because of greed while chasing after Luo Feng. Other details like the Nine Ming River etc. were unknown. Before the Venerable of the Demonic Fog Venerable said that the Golden Horned Beast and the Tianheng Knight were fighting. However, the Nine Ming River suddenly appeared. "Looks like the human Luo Feng's helper is that Golden Horned Beast." Fan Nua Castle Master nodded to himself. To be able to have such a battle record, killing so many foreign knights and even overlords, no wonder the Tianheng Knight had to flee. And the treasure that formed the chaotic energy flow should belong to the Golden Horned Beast. If it was the Tianheng Knight, he wouldn't have needed to flee when he met me back then. The Demonic Fog Venerable was killed from afar. The Tianheng Knight should have fallen. Then, the treasure should be with the Golden Horned Beast. Luo Feng? The Golden Horned Beast? Fan Nua Castle Master thought for a while and made his decision. "Let's go meet the human Luo Feng." Fan Nua Castle Master immediately became a beam of light and swiftly disappeared from the area. Primal Planet. The silver-armored and silver-winged Luo Feng carried the mountain beheading blade on his back and flew high in the sky. And a few other race knights that saw Luo Feng from afar immediately dodged. "It's Luo Feng. Quickly dodge. This Luo Feng's wings used to be a pair. How did they become four? Who knows, to change the shape of the treasures. Or to exchange for treasures." Luo Feng was just like the other Pinnacle Universe Lords, causing the other race knights and even the Universe Lords to retreat. Of course, when a Universe Lord descended on a planet, Luo Feng would dodge too. Even if he really wanted to enter that planet, he would stay far away from the Universe Lord, maintaining a distance of over 10 billion kilometers. Is this the feeling of a strong warrior? Luo Feng stood at the peak of a majestic mountain, gazing down at the vast land. On the so-called dangerous primal planet, I can do whatever I want. As long as I avoid the Universe Lord's location, no one will dare to provoke me. The primal planet was dangerous, but that was relatively speaking. To the Universe Lords, it was extremely dangerous. To the Universe Lords, it was much less dangerous. Otherwise, Gui Yi Knight wouldn't have been so confident in borrowing a soul treasure from Luo Feng back then. Normally, if one avoided the pinnacle of Universe Lords or Universe Lords, there wouldn't be much danger. The pinnacle of Universe Lords were even safer. Unless one actively provoked the Universe Lord. For example, when a treasure trove opens, the pinnacle of Universe Lords and Universe Lords enter to fight for it. Under those circumstances, there would naturally be a chance of death. Otherwise, if one kept avoiding the Universe Lord, he would definitely be able to do whatever he wanted. Luo Feng turned fiercely towards a direction. The warriors of the primal planets' races usually avoid me from afar. This foreign race actually dares to stay within 10 million kilometers of me? In the distance, a jade-green light flew straight at Luo Feng. That is, Luo Feng carefully analyzed. It was a huge man with green life energy flowing all over his body. Through his race's characteristics, looks, energy, it's the Piercing Ring Alliance's Fan Nua Castle leader. Luo Feng immediately recognized him and laughed within. No wonder he wasn't afraid of him. It was the Pinnacle Overlord Fan Nua Castle leader. Human Luo Feng. A powerful voice resounded. Fan Nua Castle leader. Luo Feng stood at the peak of the mountain and looked over. After a while, Fan Nua Castle leader descended not far from Luo Feng, smiling as he looked over. I've long heard of the human Luo Feng's name. This should be the first time we've met. I'm afraid it's because I entered the primal planet this time that I attracted his attention. Luo Feng smiled, and with such a strong reputation, even causing many other race knights to avoid me. I didn't rely on my own strength. It's not like Fan Nua Castle leader's own strength that can shock the other races. Since the other races all believed he had a helper, then he'd just let it be. Anyway, no one would believe him even if he said it. Your strength is not bad too. In the future, you have high hopes of becoming an overlord of the universe. Fan Nua Castle leader looked at Luo Feng. I've seen you and have something I'd like to ask for help with. Help? Luo Feng said, please speak. This Fan Nua Castle leader was asking for his help? I need to craft a treasure, and I've gathered many materials. Fan Nua Castle leader looked at Luo Feng. However, I'm lacking precious metals. The other knights avoid me when they see me, making it impossible for me to speak to them. Luo Feng smiled. Right, when he wanted to speak to the other races, they avoided him tens of millions of km away. I wonder what metals you have. If you have what I need, I'm willing to exchange for it at a high price. Fan Nua Castle leader smiled. Metals? Luo Feng asked curiously. Don't tell me the Thorn Ring Alliance doesn't have any. I really don't. Fan Nua Castle leader was helpless. There are many types of precious metals in the universe, the ones I need. I had them in the past, but they've all been exchanged for. Luo Feng nodded. I do have some materials, but I'm afraid I don't have what you want. Luo Feng said. Back when he killed Tian Tai Knight and returned to his god country, Luo Feng had placed a few treasures and even materials he didn't understand in his god country. Since even he couldn't understand them, they were obviously valuable. What Luo Feng brought with him were easily recognizable, and he was clear of their value. Who knows? Fan Nua Castle leader laughed loudly. How about letting me take a look? Sure. Luo Feng waved his hand and immediately a large amount of metals floated before him. There were close to 1,000,000 of them. This caused Fan Noa Castle leader's eyes to gleam. Carefully inspecting them, after a while his eyes dimmed, shaking his head and smiling. I really don't have any. Even the Thorn Ring Alliance lacks these metals. Where would I have them? Luo Feng smiled and kept them. Fan Noa Castle leader was hesitant. Speak your mind. Luo Feng smiled. Fan Noa Castle leader said, I didn't want to speak at first, but these metals are very important to me. Every race in the universe knows, Luo Feng, you have an elite tyrant helping you. I believe he has many precious metals with him. I wonder, can you let me take a look? If you do, I'll definitely exchange for treasures. I won't let your friend lose out. P.S. Here's the first chapter. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1107. Friend. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Everyone in the universe knows of your helper. Fan Noa Castle Master smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Please wait a moment, I'll ask him. Luo Feng said. Fan Noa Castle Master nodded, waiting quietly beside him. Within he was anticipating, if he didn't have to fight to get the treasures he needed, that would be too wonderful. After all, being able to kill Tian Tai Knight, and having killed several universe overlords before at the hands of the Golden Horned Beast, Fan Noa Castle Master wasn't willing to easily start a fight. Luo Feng acted as though he was contacting him. In truth, the Golden Horned Beast was just one of his clones. Where would he get new metals? Luo Feng looked at Fan Noa Castle Master, his expression apologetic. Fan Noa Castle Master, my friend said he doesn't have any metals on him. No? Fan Noa Castle Master asked. Don't tell me he's unwilling. My friend said he doesn't have any. Luo Feng continued to smile as he looked at Fan Noa Castle Master. Then there's no other way. Fan Noa Castle Master nodded, sighing regretfully. What a pity. The moment his words landed, an overwhelming pressure suddenly emitted. Simultaneously an endless jade-green light lit up. One could only see huge vines that were a few km thick immediately enveloping the land, causing the land to sink into a vine world. Boundless and endless, it was filled with countless vines. The vines filled the entire space, completely surrounding Luo Feng. What a pity, I originally didn't want to make a move. An incomparably low voice resounded from the countless vines. Fan Noa Castle Master. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and roared angrily. Fan Noa Castle Master, according to the reports, had an extremely powerful strength, with a total of 3 clones. The other 2 clones were extremely powerful too. The strongest was the Base Snow Ting. This Base Snow Ting should be Fan Noa Castle Master's true body. The Base Snow Ting was an extremely rare special life form in the universe. There were a total of 5 known. Fan Noa Castle Master was one of them. He joined the Thorn Ring Alliance. The other 4, however, belonged to other powers in the universe. The Base Snow Ting's life genetic level wasn't considered high, about 1,000 times, but its body was huge, over 1,000,000 km. And it had a natural ability, transplant. Relying on the transplant ability, Fan Noa Castle Master had 2 clones. Even though they weren't as big as the Base Snow Ting, their life genetic levels were almost the same. In other words, Fan Noa Castle Master alone was comparable to 3 top universe overlords. This gave him a very high status in the Thorny Ring Alliance. Luo Feng, get your friend, that golden horned beast, to take out all the metal. Within the countless vines, a low voice resounded. Hand over the metal and I'll spare your life. Otherwise, even if that golden horned beast can protect itself, it won't be able to protect you. Golden horned beast. Luo Feng smiled as he stood in mid-air, looking at the endless swirling jade-green colored vines. You know quite a lot. Are you going to hand it over or not? A low voice asked. Should I hand it over? Should I hand it over? Should I hand it over? His voice kept reverberating. I'll let my friend answer. Luo Feng looked to his side. Beside him a 1-meter-long cute golden-horned beast suddenly appeared. Golden-horned beast. A voice came from the vine world. Hand over all the metals you have and I'll leave immediately. Otherwise, this human Luo Feng would definitely die. Answer me, are you going to hand it over or not? The golden-horned beast raised its head and roared. Threatening me? Dream on. Ha ha ha. Luo Feng laughed loudly. The endless vine world went silent for a moment, almost as though it didn't expect the golden-horned beast to dare reject. Did the golden-horned beast have the confidence to protect Luo Feng? At the same time, Fan Nua Castle Master was shocked that Luo Feng could actually laugh at this moment. Since it's like this, then it's death. Before the voice even finished. It's your death. The golden-horned beast and Luo Feng roared simultaneously. Rumble. Boundless golden waves surged out in all directions, seeping through the gaps between the countless vines. It looked like a river, but in reality, it was a special energy domain created by the burning of divine power through the treasure of the 9 Nirvana River. In an instant, it covered a 30 million kilometers area. However, Fan Nua Castle Master's Bei Shueting clone easily blocked it. Big, big, big. The golden-horned beast raised its head and roared. Hua! The golden-horned beast swiftly began to grow larger, and the countless white vines that glowed with jade-green light began to wrap around and attack. However, the golden-horned beast was wearing the beast god armor. There wasn't a single part of his body that wasn't a weapon. He waved his claws and countless golden engravings revolved, beams of golden light flashed. Pung! 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 Countless white vines were flung apart, unable to stop the golden-horned beast from growing. He actually doesn't care about that human Luo Feng. Fan Nua Castle Master was shocked. Simultaneously many vines became beams of jade-green light that attacked Luo Feng. The silver-armored and silver-winged Luo Feng smiled as he watched all this. Break! Luo Feng said softly. The 4 wings on his back suddenly became 10 m long, simultaneously countless engravings revolved and immediately became 4 glaring golden wings, unleashing another technique Luo Feng had. Other than the Universe Lord's ultimate technique, Luo Feng had also created an Overlord-level ultimate technique, which he named Misty Light. Using the wings as blades, Luo Feng was already very familiar with it. It was just that he was unleashing 4 blades at once. And after the evolution, the newly slain Wu Yuyi's attack power wasn't any weaker than the Zhan blade. Hua hua hua, the glaring 4 arcs of golden light forcefully blocked the vines. Luo Feng stood in mid-air, his huge 4 wings waving, easily blocking all the attacks. Within a few seconds, all the vines had vanished. Of course it wasn't because of his earth body, but the golden-horned beast. Big, big, big. Covering the skies and land. This was the golden-horned beast. A majestic golden-horned beast that was definitely over 1,000,000 km long stood in mid-air, its entire body pitch black, emitting an incredibly ferocious aura. One had to know that the deities of the world was an amplification technique. After the 3rd level was completed, one could enlarge or shrink by a lot. To normal golden-horned beasts, 100,000 kilometers was their limit. However, golden-horned Luo Feng's normal body was 90,000 kilometers long. Even if it was only 36 times longer, it would still be a few million km long as the body didn't exceed a certain limit. It wouldn't affect Luo Feng's battle strength. The golden-horned beast was so huge, naturally it easily tore apart the vines, causing them to be unable to encircle it. 1,000,000 km long beast, 1,000,000 km long vine. The two faced each other. Luo Feng stood on top of the golden-horned beast's head and looked from afar, only to see the endless vines extending out from a dark green castle. Obviously the core of the Bay Snow Vine was completely hidden within the castle, while countless vines extended out from the exit of the castle. Luo Feng, looks like the universe aliens are all wrong. You, Luo Feng, already have the strength of a universe overlord. You've already stepped into the realm of a universe knight? Within the countless vines stood a silhouette. It was the huge Fan Nua Castle Master. Fan Nua Castle Leader stood in the air above the vine. Luo Feng stood in the air above the golden horned beast. Think whatever you want, Luo Feng said softly. Hand over the medal and I'll let you leave. Fan Nua Castle Leader roared. He was actually already a little afraid. He couldn't help but look at the huge golden horned beast that was emitting a savage beast god energy. This golden horned beast gave him a feeling very similar to the golden beast god. Even the aura was very similar. And the technique the golden horned beast unleashed earlier made him even more cautious. Even though Luo Feng's technique was powerful, it was obviously much weaker than the golden horned beast. Fan Nua Castle Leader, you seem pretty confident? Luo Feng looked at Fan Nua Castle Leader. From what I see, you should hurry and leave. Against Fan Nua Castle Leader, who had a flying fortress and a body with 1,000,000 km range, Luo Feng indeed had no intentions of fighting. The countless vines surrounding my Bei Shueting clone is only a very normal attack. It's not my strongest technique. Fan Nua Castle Leader roared. The Bei Shueting clone is enough to tie down the golden horned beast, and I can kill you. I don't believe it. In the distance, Luo Feng mocked casually. This made Fan Nua Castle Leader and the huge Bei Shueting furious. With a heaven-shaking roar, a vast green world immediately enveloped an area of 1,000 kilometers, after which it clashed with the 9 Minutes River's Golden River. It was obviously a domain-type treasure. Looking at its power, it should be a normal treasure. Fight! Fan Nua Castle Leader and Bei Shueting attacked simultaneously. Rumble! One could only see the vines intertwining. The countless vines actually transformed into 8 huge vines that were a few thousand km thick, like 8 huge whips transforming into 8 dazzling jade-green whip shadows, covering the sky and earth as they lashed towards the golden horned beast. Howl! The golden horned beast buried its head and rushed over. Luo Feng retreated and stood in mid-air. Luo Feng, you're looking for death. Fan Nua Castle Leader flew over. Luo Feng immediately pulled out the mountain beheader blade from his back, looking straight at the incoming Fan Nua Castle Leader. A huge god whip appeared in Fan Nua Castle Leader's hand. On it were countless ancient engravings. Under his burning god energy, he lashed straight at Luo Feng. Who? A misty golden light flickered. Luo Feng unleashed the Universe Overlord's ultimate technique, Misty Light. With regards to the 2 techniques he created, one of the Universe Lord's ultimate technique was named Golden Light, the Universe Overlord's ultimate technique was named Misty Light. One could see Luo Feng's transformation after 180 million years of training. Back then, when Luo Feng first created an absolute technique, he was filled with anticipation for it, hence he spent a lot of time thinking about its name. However, now that the mysteries of the universe had been revealed to Luo Feng, he was very casual about the name. It represented the path of the gold beast god. It was just golden light. The 2 clashed. Luo Feng immediately flew backwards, following which countless whips lashed over. He used the mountain beheader blade and Wu killer wings to block. However, the whips were too strong. Even with his full strength blocking, they still lashed against his armor. However, with the armor, it allowed Luo Feng to completely block them. Not good. Even though Fan Nua Castle Leader's strength was suppressing Luo Feng, he looked fearfully into the distance. That Bei Shueting clone could no longer hold on. All the vines had retracted back into the dark green castle, becoming a beam of light and escaping. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Tomorrow is Saturday. This week, the 19th, will be late. Today's 2 chapters will be late. Hence tomorrow's 3 chapters. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1108. Fan Nua Castle Master stared furiously at the black golden horned beast in the distance. Bei Shueting was his original body, but when the 2 of them clashed, Fan Nua Castle Master realized that he was completely suppressed. Even though he relied on his high-level armor and powerful god body, Bei Shueting was definitely fine. However, Bei Shueting couldn't stop the black golden horned beast at all. Xiao! The dark green castle became a beam of light and flew towards Fan Nua Castle Master. Fan Nua Castle Master too flew over. He couldn't care less about the human Luofeng anymore. He was very clear that if he wasted any more time, the moment the unstoppable golden horned beast got close to him, he would be in deep trouble. Trying to escape? Luofeng's wings flapped. Space and time immediately became chaotic. Silhouettes of Luofeng appeared around Fan Nua Castle Master. What? Fan Nua Castle Master's expression changed. Simultaneously, he cursed the rumors. The rumors said Luofeng trained in the path of the beast god. However, Luofeng's control of space and time had obviously reached an extremely high level. Even with the help of treasures, without sufficient comprehension, how could he control it? Fan Nua Castle Master didn't know of the existence of the engraving school. You want to stop me? Get lost! Fan Nua Castle Master roared. The whip in his hand once again lashed out. A cold and sharp gold light flashed. The blade light was unstoppable. Purring! The whip was suppressed and bent. The beheading blade followed closely on Fan Nua Castle Master's head. The armor glowed and blocked the attack. However, Fan Nua Castle Master was still slashed downwards. Impossible! Fan Nua Castle Master's eyes were filled with fear. He looked up at Luofeng. How could this be? How could this be? That human Luofeng, how could he be this strong? This blade technique? This blade technique and the golden horned beast's technique should be the same technique. Don't tell me, the absolute genius Luofeng had already been possessed by the golden horned beast? Because of the possession, whatever the golden horned beast knew, the human Luofeng knew too. This also explained why in a short 20,000 years, the human Luofeng was able to unleash such a powerful technique. Yes, Luofeng's talent is extremely high. Even an absolute being would be jealous and want to make him one of his bodies. However, for such a super genius, the human race must be extremely protective of him. How could he possess someone in such a situation? This golden horned beast is too scary. Fan Nua Castle Master panicked and wanted to escape. Hua! Luofeng's four wings moved. The pinnacle treasure Wu Killer Wings pierced through space and time, causing his speed to reach a whole new level. He was much stronger than he was in the past. Almost instantly, several figures appeared in front of the Fan Nua Castle Lord. You can't escape. Luofeng's blade descended once again. Once again, Fan Nua Castle Master used his divine whip to block the attack. Then, he flew backward. Luofeng caused Fan Nua Castle Master to be unable to escape, forcing Fan Nua Castle Master to activate his flying fortress to save him. Even though the flying fortress was flying over, the golden horned beast was also flying over. In terms of flying speed, the flying fortress was obviously much faster than the golden horned beast. Scram, humans! Huge vines shot out from the flying fortresses. Humph! Luofeng snorted coldly. The four wings on his back began to expand fiercely, almost instantly reaching 100 kilometers in size. One could clearly see with the naked eye. The huge wings got smaller as they neared Luofeng's body. Luofeng's back looked exactly the same as before. It was indeed mysterious. Break! The four huge wings were like four blades, the handles of which were on Luofeng's back. The blades danced. For rays of golden light lit up and directly smashed the vines that stretched out. Damn! Fan Nua Castle Master was anxious. He roared. Rumble! All the vines immediately retracted into the flying fortress. Simultaneously, the flying fortress became a beam of light and smashed over. Rumble! The flying fortress immediately clashed with Luofeng's huge Wu Killer Wings. Luofeng was slightly shaken. The moment the flying fortress clashed with the Wu Killer Wings, Countless vines shot out from within and swiftly entered the wings. Fan Nua Castle Master clashed with one of the vines. Immediately, his divine whip and armor were all transferred into Beishueting's body. His body was immediately destroyed. Countless vines swiftly retracted. At the same time the flying fortress tried to escape. Howl, the golden-horned beast buried its head and dashed in space. The longest horn on its head smashed fiercely into the flying fortress. The flying fortress shook violently and was immediately sent flying. The flying fortress sped up and became a beam of light as it escaped. What a powerful golden-horned beast! In the air above the ocean of the primal planet, the flying fortress floated and a huge man walked out. Fan Nua Castle Master was still filled with fear. It actually took over the human Luofeng's body. And it's so strong, it's really strong. Even though it's the same technique, the golden-horned beast's power is obviously much stronger. That golden-horned beast must have an extremely powerful attack treasure. Fan Nua Castle Master was shocked the more he thought. This golden-horned beast isn't to be messed with. Fan Nua Castle Master thought. The battle had ended. Luo Feng was recalling the battle from before. Fan Nua Castle Master's life genetic level is 1,000 times. Compared to the World Tree, it's still lacking a little. And like the World Tree's natural talent control of space and time, it's even more beneficial in battle. Fan Nua Castle Master's natural talent, however, is 2 more clones. Luo Feng thought. This made Fan Nua Castle Master's strength weaker than the World Tree. His god's strength was weaker than Fan Nua Castle Master's. But the secret technique was much stronger than his. His true battle strength should be comparable to the World Tree, hence he was able to suppress Fan Nua Castle Master. It's just suppressing him. His strength isn't that high. My attacks have already been weakened by a large amount after being blocked by his weapon, and when it landed on his body, it caused him very little damage. Luo Feng understood this too. As the golden-horned beast had the beast god armor, with the advantage of the treasure, its power was heaven-defying. Even Beishueting with 1,000,000 km god body had to flee pathetically. However, it was only enough to make the opponent flee. After all, against 1,000,000 km god body, Luo Feng had no choice. Much less the opponent had the flying fortress, almost like a turtle shell. After all, Fan Nua Castle Master, who possessed the flying fortress, was able to resist the attack of the Master of the Universe and escape. Even if Meng Qi used I am the universe, it would be difficult for him to harm the 1,000,000-kilometer-long divine body within the flying fortress. The higher one gets, the harder it is to kill them. At most I can defeat them, Luo Feng thought. However, this time is weird too. Fan Nua Castle Master wants to trade with me? He wants to kill me if he doesn't succeed? To be able to make an elite universe lord this crazy, this metal's value is probably no less than a treasure, Luo Feng thought. In the distant northern border alliance, within the towering palace that burned with endless black flames that spanned over 100 million kilometers, there were large numbers of undying servants and even many universe paragons. When they looked at the main palace in the center, they all had respectful expressions. At the outer area of the entire palace, it was filled with endless starlight. Specks of starlight enveloped a few light years. This was where the Star River Lord resided. Star River Lord, a being with an extremely high position in the vast universe. His name wasn't any less than the primal Chaos City leaders. Even the various powers of the universe, compared to the primal Chaos City leader, they all respected this Star River Lord more. Within the main palace, a black hole-like silhouette sat on the throne. Any light that neared the throne would be swallowed. One could only see a huge void above the throne. Hua hua hua, time and space within the palace was being reversed. Time and space flowed backwards. The scenes within the palace were constantly being reversed. There were many groups of knights that came here to pay respects to the Star River Lord. There were even some great beings that personally came here to meet with the Star River Lord. Even two of the strongest warriors of the universe had come here, freeze. Suddenly, two silhouettes that were bowing respectfully from a certain era were locked on. Time continued to reverse. The surrounding scenes constantly changed. However, the two silhouettes didn't move at all. Freeze. Another silhouette was locked on. Freeze. Freeze. Silhouettes after silhouettes were locked on. Various types of knights. A total of 39 high-level knights stood there unmoving, almost like statues. Time and space reversal. The originally reversed space-time began to rapidly return. The powerful universe operation law's backlash was continuously transmitted to the dark void above the throne. The dark void slightly trembled, sometimes shrinking and sometimes recovering. It was as though bearing the burden of reviving a total of 39 advanced paragons of the universe at the same time was extremely heavy to him. After a while, everything returned to normal. The 39 high-level knights regained their consciousness. They looked at each other in shock. Very quickly they regained their memories. "Thank you, Star River Lord." The 39 knights all bowed respectfully. "There should be 22 or 23 of you that died because of that human Luofeng." The dark space above the throne resounded. "Answer me, who is the human Luofeng's helper?" "It's the black golden-horned beast." "It's a beast similar to the golden-horned beast. It has 6 horns and one of them is extremely long." "Black beast." The knights all spoke. Suddenly a sharp voice said with suspicion, "You were all killed by the black beasts?" "However, I was killed by that human Luofeng in one blade. Are you all not?" "Killed by Luofeng? How strong can Luofeng be? Are you joking?" "What a joke!" The other foreign race knights spoke. "However, I too was killed by Luofeng." "Me too. I thought I saw wrongly. I too was personally killed by Luofeng." 3 of them spoke at the same time. Immediately the entire hall went silent. One high-level sage might be wrong, but a total of 4 high-level sages said it. Immediately all the other sages in the hall had a trace of shock in their eyes. Primal Chaos City. "Lord. Lord." Luofeng walked within the city leader's residence. The guards all bowed respectfully. Luofeng nodded. With familiarity, he headed towards the clan treasures in the side palace. Fan Nua Castle Master's actions before had caught Luofeng's attention. Luofeng even thought back to the Fiend Mist Knight that was killed by his I Am the Universe back then. Fiend Mist Knight and Fan Nua Castle Master are both from the Thorn Ring Alliance. And Fan Nua Castle Master actually knows my helper is the golden-horned beast, and he's come to exchange metals with me. Luofeng guessed that his metals definitely had some unknown treasure. Hence, he temporarily left the primal planet and returned to his god country to bring the metals he couldn't identify. He couldn't identify them. Then he would come to Primal Chaos City to identify them. Just what treasure is it? Luofeng was curious. He too reached the side palace. Rumble, the ancient bronze door slowly opened. Luofeng immediately stepped in. P.S. First chapter is here. Not finished yet. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1109. The silent ancient palace was very spacious. Only the stone board in the center could be seen. One only had to place the item on the board and the virtual universe system would be able to inspect it. This was also the easiest place Luofeng could think of to identify the treasure. Through the virtual universe network before, according to my authority, I've compared the metals I couldn't identify before. Even though they are rare, they wouldn't make that Fan Nua Castle leader rack his brains for them. Then there's only the last 3 left. Luofeng thought. Just through the network, there were still 3 that he couldn't identify. According to Luofeng's guess, the treasure should be within. Luofeng flipped his hand and a green crystal the size of a sesame seed appeared in his palm. He gently placed it on the stone plate. 1. Green threads rose up from the stone board, enveloping the green crystal and starting to carefully analyze it. After a while, a voice resounded, 1 piece of metal wood crystal, offering it to the clan will give you 18 treasure points. Luo Feng, are you willing to offer this treasure to the clan? It's indeed a treasure. Luo Feng revealed a look of shock when he heard it. No wonder even with my authority, I couldn't find any information on this metal. Just a sesame seed-sized piece is worth 18 treasure points. Looks like the treasures of the universe lords and knights I've killed are indeed not few. However, just 18 treasure points isn't enough for Fan Nua Castle leader to make a move. Luo Feng shook his head. It wasn't this. He waved his hand and the sesame seed-sized crystal floated back into his palm, immediately keeping it in his world ring. With a flip of his hand, another piece of metal appeared in his palm. This was a black metal about the size of a head. Its surface had a total of 360 facets. Every facet was incredibly smooth, almost like a mirror. This was also one of the 3 metals Luo Feng couldn't identify. Go. The black metal immediately floated and landed on the board. Countless green threads soared up and enveloped the black metal stone. Luo Feng frowned. That long. Even inspecting treasures back then didn't take this long. After a while, the gentle voice resounded again, resounding throughout the entire palace. 1 divergent mirror stone, one of the tokens of the divergent god palace. Offering it to the clan for 20 treasure points. Luo Feng, are you willing to offer it to the clan? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. 20 treasure points? It was even more expensive than the Jiuming River. That's it. Luo Feng looked at the Qi mirror stone in shock. At the same time, he quickly extended his hand and recalled the Qi mirror stone back into his hand. His eyes lit up as he stared at the Qi mirror stone. No wonder Fan Nua Castle Master used so much effort to purposely trade metals with me. He bullied me because I couldn't see through the secrets of this Qi mirror stone. So, this is the divergent mirror stone. Luo Feng felt his blood boil. Even though Luo Feng hadn't been in the primal star for close to 20,000 years, during that period of time, his consciousness would occasionally enter the virtual universe. Hence, he naturally knew about the major events that happened in the primal star. In the past 20,000 years, on the 10081 primordial stars, the most soul-stirring event was the Divergent God Temple storm. Qi Shin Temple. It caused the various races of the universe to go crazy. On the 600th year of the primal star pathway's opening, the universe origin laws suddenly descended on the primal star 02892. Gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, light, time, space, all the great origin laws simultaneously descended on this primal star. The pressure was overwhelming. In an instant, the entire planet seemed to be locked down. Any knight or even an overlord found it hard to move. Simultaneously, a shrine slowly broke out of the ground. The process of breaking out of the ground lasted close to 100 years. And in this period of time, the various powers of the universe all sent their absolute beings over. In an instant, the ones surrounding the shrine were all universe lords. Those that dared to get close were all at least at the pinnacle of the universe. After 100 years, the Divergent God Temple had completely emerged. There was a black stone tablet erected before the shrine. On it were ancient engravings. Any warrior that saw it would know the message. The message was very simple: when the Divergent God Temple emerges, the stone tablet will appear. Once the stone tablet is destroyed, on the 10081 primal stars, at a certain time, at a certain location, one or more Qi mirror stones will randomly appear. There will be a total of 36 Qi mirror stones. They are like normal stones. When they appear, the commotion will be comparable to high-level treasures. When all 36 Qi mirror stones appear, the Divergent God Temple will open. Only those with them can enter. If any other warrior barges in, they will be destroyed. 1 year later, the stone tablet was destroyed. Following which, there were many rumors saying that the Chi mirror stone had appeared on a certain primal star, causing many dispute. However, no one knew the exact time or location. Hence, it depended on luck. Even the strong would find it hard to obtain it. The news of the stone tablet had long spread. Luo Feng naturally knew about it too. So it's a Chi mirror stone. I really don't recognize it even with a treasure in my hand. Luo Feng looked at the black crystal. When the Chi mirror stone appears, its pressure is similar to that of a high-level treasure. Hence, one can only discover it when it appears. Only then will one know how special it is. A stone appearing, yet its pressure was comparable to that of a high-level treasure. Any warrior would be able to guess that it wasn't normal. However, someone like Luo Feng who had killed other warriors and taken their treasures, even with this Chi mirror stone, he wouldn't be able to recognize it. The origin laws of the universe have descended. The divergent God Temple seems to be the biggest treasure of this primal star. Luo Feng thought. The primal star normally only opens once after countless years, and every time it opens, it only lasts for 1,000 eras. Within these 1,000 eras, like the top-level domain treasures, top-level soul treasures, top-level flying palace treasures, top-level weapon treasures, these treasures of the same level would appear many times. However, they would all be incomplete and would appear separately. And within the entire 1,000 eras of the primal star's opening, there would always be one terrifying treasure that would stand above the others. Usually, it would be a peak-level domain-type treasure, peak-level flying palace-type treasure, or peak-level soul-type treasure. Of course, they would usually have other uses. For example, the Calamity Armor had some soul defense. The Beast God Armor had both offensive and defensive abilities. The Star Pagoda had soul defense, flying palace, suppressive, offensive abilities, and many other abilities. And every time the primal star opens, the strongest treasures that appear would usually have many different uses. Like the top-level soul treasures, they would usually focus on soul defense, or even have a portion of body defense, or even hypnosis abilities, etc. Anyway, the top-level soul treasures were second only to the absolute treasures. And the absolute treasures were things that could only be found and not sought. Even the 9 great powers of the universe didn't have any absolute treasures to guard them. Hence, the top-level domain treasures, soul-type, flying palace-type treasures, were enough to make the universe races go crazy. The primal star only opens once after an incomparably long period of time. Luo Feng thought, every top-level soul treasure or treasure of the same level can be called the ultimate treasure of their race. The moment a powerful universe lord obtains it, along with other treasures, it's almost impossible for him to die. Even if he meets an absolute treasure, even if he can't beat it, he'll still be able to escape. No wonder Tian Tao has always been hiding it, not daring to reveal it. After all, the moment it is revealed, the automaton universe lords will naturally use it. It's already not bad for him to obtain such a high-level treasure. However, if he were to go in himself, one has to know that only 36 people from the entire universe can enter, and they'll enter from different doors within the palace. There's a chance of survival. The moment he comes out, his rewards will be huge. Even if he fails, he'll just revive again. However, the moment he succeeds, Luo Feng understood Tian Tao and Fan Nua Castle leader's thoughts. Tian Tao was hiding his information. Fan Nua Castle leader wasn't willing to reveal the fact that Tian Tao had the stone. The moment it was revealed, Tian Tao would probably obediently give it to his race. Tian Tao wouldn't reveal Fan Nua Castle leader's secret either. The moment it was revealed, Fan Nua Castle leader's position would be extremely high, with 3 bodies, each comparable to an elite universe lord. His position was already close to that of a universe lord. Even if the Thorny Ring Alliance knew he had the stone, they wouldn't forcefully demand it. If they were forced, The special life form Fan Nua Castle leader could totally leave the Thorny Ring Alliance and join another power. Both had their own thoughts. Tian Tao wasn't afraid of Fan Nua Castle leader chasing him. He had the confidence to survive. Fan Nua Castle leader too had the thought of getting it himself, hence he dragged it out. Who would have thought that Luo Feng would interfere? Tian Tao was indeed good at escaping. With a domain treasure paired with a high-level armor and flowing light wings, even Luo Feng couldn't catch up. Eventually he had to rely on I Am the Universe to kill him. Hence, the stone landed in Luo Feng's hands. With the stone in my hands, I too have the right to enter the shrine. Luo Feng was extremely excited. This chance, I'm afraid it'll only come once in countless eras. And within 1,000 years, I'll definitely be able to step into the universe night level. The moment I do, my body will grow even stronger. My power will be even stronger, and I'll have the qualifications to compete for treasures. Luo Feng nodded within. Simultaneously, he tested the third piece of metal. It was worth 31 treasure points. Even though Luo Feng was shocked, he only smiled. Following which Luo Feng left Primal Chaos City, leaving the Primal Universe, returning to the actual universe. Within the Thorny Ring Alliance territory, a life planet was incomparably flourishing. The spread of technology was very powerful, even if one didn't walk the path of technology. However, the majority of life planets in the universe, especially those with weak genes, the planets they lived on would use technology to create an incredibly comfortable living environment. Skyscrapers, flying cars, parking platforms, it could be seen everywhere. At the top of one of the skyscrapers, Fan Nua Castle leader had transformed into a 3 m tall god body. He sat on a chair and gazed down at the city. As he was a special life form, he actually liked the normal weak life forms living in this world. Luo Feng, golden horned beast? The divergent mirror stone should have fallen into his hands. My mission this time failed. He'll definitely be suspicious. I believe with the human race's intelligence system, he should be able to identify the stone. Fan Nua Castle leader creased his eyebrows and thought. The second chapter has arrived. Happy Christmas Eve. Wu Tomato, continue writing the third chapter. Asterisk to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:10. Fan Nua Castle Master sat in the skyscraper's top floor hall. Suddenly the doorbell rang. Enter. Fan Nua Castle Master said. Hua, the door automatically opened to the two sides, and a two-handed foreign race man with many feelers on his face walked in. Boss, this is this year's detailed financial report. The foreign race man respectfully handed over a document. On it was filled with many different race words. Fan Nua Castle Master picked it up and flipped through it. This was a company he had created while pretending to be a normal being on this planet. Even though it was laughable for a great pinnacle overlord to do such a thing, Fan Nua liked the feeling of being close to the most normal people in the universe. Feeling the competition between the normal people, Fan Nua Castle Master would occasionally get emotional. Even the origin laws would occasionally be triggered. You can leave first, I'll hold a meeting later. Fan Nua ordered. Yes. The normal beings working in this company probably couldn't even imagine how terrifying their boss was. Even though he was the strongest on this planet, a universe-level warrior. In Fan Nua Castle Master's eyes, he was nothing but a joke. He lived on this planet and had already secretly controlled many changes in the planet's powers. To him, it was just a thought. If he wanted to, one thought and he could destroy the twin stars in the sky. Luo Feng was actually taken over by the golden horned beast. Undyings can't be taken over, that means he was taken over when he was a sector lord? Back then, when he made such a name for himself in Purple Thorn Island, he was secretly taken over? No wonder he died and revived back then, so he was just a new body taken over by the golden horned beast. Fan Nua Castle Master thought. Taking over was when the soul enters a new body and abandons the original one. The golden horned beast had a main body and 3 bodies. Using one of the bodies to take over, abandoning the original body, one would naturally be able to take over the new body. However, the target had to be undying and below. There was no way to take over an undying's body. Fan Nua Castle Master stood up fiercely. Not right. Luo Feng was able to kill an Emperor Pinnacle as a Sector Lord, and an Undying was able to kill Bark Mirror Emperor. His body was no weaker than a special life form. But even so, a Sector Lord level body, even if it's thousands of times stronger, it still can't hold the soul of a knight. Fan Nua Castle Master suddenly thought of this. Could it be that the golden horned beast was undying back then? Yes. That's the only explanation for his successful possession. Why isn't he famous? I can't recognize him at all. But how could he use such a powerful secret technique? Even if it's an innate secret skill, the innate secret skill of a heaven-defying special lifeform, it wouldn't be this strong. Fan Nua Castle Master's train of thought had reached a dead end. Luo Feng possessed the golden horned beast? Impossible. Luo Feng's growth time was too short. He couldn't create such a terrifying technique. The golden horned beast took over Luo Feng? That was also impossible. Luo Feng's body back then wasn't able to contain the Universe Knight's soul, and the golden horned beast back then was definitely still undying. In such a short time, it was impossible to create such a terrifying technique. But they used the same secret technique, so it's clear that they have the same consciousness. It must be a possession. What happened? What's going on? Castle Master Fan Nua thought for a long time but still could not figure it out. He could only sigh. The universe was indeed mysterious and unpredictable. There were still many things that could not be explained. Fan Nua Castle Master lived on this normal planet. Luo Feng returned to his god country to meditate, wanting to break through to the Universe Knight level. At this time, the peak of the virtual universe Lightning Island, within the palace shrouded in endless chaos energy. The primal Chaos City leader sat crossed-legged at the edge of the cliff. Suddenly a screen lit up beside him. Simultaneously it displayed detailed information and a picture, the picture of the divergent mirror stone. The virtual universe system sent it directly. What's the important news? The primal Chaos City leader opened his eyes and looked curiously at the screen. With one look he revealed shock. Luo Feng acquired the divergent mirror stone? Primal Chaos. A voice resounded around him. Huge axe. The primal Chaos City leader spoke respectfully. There were only 2 people in the entire human race that could speak to him without a request. The creator of the huge axe was one of them. Primal Chaos. That Luo Feng used the virtual universe system to appraise the divergent mirror stone. You know about it? The voice resounded around. The other universe lords know about it at the same time. Right now I'm preparing to hold a meeting with the upper echelon regarding the ownership of the divergent mirror stone. Do you agree? I agree. The primal Chaos City leader nodded. The primal Chaos City leader understood too. The divergent mirror stone was related to the most important treasure since the opening of the primal planet. Like some normal treasures, the universe lords didn't care at all. However, the pinnacle treasure that was about to appear in the divergent god shrine, not a single power in the universe wouldn't covet it. The creator of the huge axe decided to hold a meeting with the upper echelon, and didn't directly ask Luo Feng for it. That was already not bad. The virtual universe system was after all the human race's virtual universe, and the humans with the highest positions were naturally the creator of the huge axe, the primal Chaos City leader, the Void Gold Lord, the Yen Mountain leader, the Dragon Travel leader and the other 10 great beings. After Luo Feng appraised the divergent mirror stone, the virtual universe system went through a logical analysis and sent it to the upper echelon. Virtual universe, one of the planes, endless darkness, distant specks of starlight. A simple shrine floated in mid-air. Before the shrine was a long stone table, On both sides of the table were stone chairs. At the same time there was only one stone chair at the head of the table. A huge savage sat there. Silhouettes appeared on the chairs on both sides of the table. It was the primal Chaos City leader and the other universe lords. In an instant they had all arrived. Everyone has arrived. The huge savage looked at both sides, however he made all the universe lords treat him with respect. The creator of the huge axe was the strongest in the universe. Luo Feng has acquired the divergent mirror stone, and it's related to a pinnacle domain treasure, this level of treasure. The huge savage said directly, "It's extremely important to our race." However, this was acquired by Luo Feng with his own strength. He can't just ask for it. As for what we should do, everyone speak. The moment the creator spoke, it was equivalent to saying, he couldn't just ask for it. Divergent mirror stone. A cold voice resounded. It's related to the divergent god shrine. What's Luo Feng's strength? Giving it to him is useless. For the race's strength, for him to hand over the stone, at most give him some compensation. Is one high-level treasure enough? If not, we can just give more, won't that do? A universe lord nodded. I agree. Right, even though he acquired it, giving it to him is a waste. After the opening of the divergent god shrine, the stone will have no value anymore. And the stone may very well give our human race yet another absolute treasure. I agree. I agree. The universe lords all expressed their opinions. Even though I agree with everyone, however, everyone must take note. Luo Feng has risen to where he is today. His edge is unfathomable. As a genius that only appears once in 1,000,000,000,000 years. His arrogance is unimaginable. Even though the stone is very important, don't cause trouble with Luo Feng because of this. Back then, the Flame Emperor had a bad temper. Even though he wanted to steal a treasure from his own race, he shouldn't have left his race. This matter seems easy, however we have to be careful, don't cause trouble. This Luo Feng's talent isn't any weaker than the Flame Emperor back then. He may very well become a universe lord in the future. A warm voice resounded. It's not the same. Luo Feng and the Flame Emperor are completely different. The Flame Emperor is extremely selfish. Even though our race tolerates the absolute warriors, we don't even have the most basic protection for our own race. He even acts against his own race, and still doesn't think it's wrong. Such an extremely selfish person, I don't feel pity for him leaving our race, instead I feel joy. If I were to fight alongside him, that would be an insult to me. The Flame Emperor and Luo Feng's personalities are different. That warm voice continued, even though they're different, the arrogance of an absolute genius is something everyone understands. The more powerful they are, the more confidence they have in themselves. If we don't handle it well, it'll easily incite dissatisfaction. In theory, this stone was indeed acquired by Luo Feng himself. Even if it's wasted, it's still his authority. No matter how much we feel pity for the race, we can't interfere. Of course, from the perspective of the race, it's best for Huge Axe to take the stone and enter personally. With his abilities, naturally he'll have a high chance of acquiring the absolute treasure. I agree with Qing Dong leader. Indeed, we should be careful. That Luo Feng taking it would be a waste, however, how to convince him is very important. We should get it back from him. Convincing him, however, is a little difficult. One by one, the masters of the universe spoke up. Other than the primal Chaos City leader who didn't speak, the other universe lords all spoke, and swiftly came to a conclusion. They had to get the stone back, and it would be best if they could convince Luo Feng. Even though these universe lords were the true rulers of humanity, they still held Luo Feng in high regard. Primal Chaos, what do you say? The creator Huge Axe looked over. The primal Chaos City leader shook his head and smiled. What else can I say? Since everyone is of the same opinion, I naturally won't have any objections. The stone, we have to get it back, however the prerequisite is that we don't escalate the conflict. With Flame Emperor gone, we can't let Luo Feng go too. The many universe lords all nodded. Warriors leaving their original powers and joining others. There were many such cases in the universe. Firstly, the absolute warriors usually had their loved ones long dead. Secondly, the stronger they were, the more confident they were, and their thoughts were firm. The moment they were angered, if they were truly angered, there were indeed many who would leave their own powers. This matter, primal chaos, you handle it. Savage smiled. You are his teacher, if you speak, his resistance should be the lowest. Haha, primal chaos, I'll have to trouble you with this. Haha. The surrounding universe lords all laughed. The primal chaos city leader could only nod. You have to think of a way to get Luo Feng to agree. Savage emphasized. The stone is after all related to the absolute treasures of the Qixin Palace. I will convince him. The primal chaos city leader nodded. 3 chapters completed. Brothers and sisters, Merry Christmas Eve. Do you have Christmas tickets? To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:11. Above the endless dark ocean, the golden shrine glowed with endless god light. Luo Feng sat cross-legged before the shrine, his eyes looking at the endless god country. In his mind, he recalled the engravings one by one, occasionally recalling the teleportation, strangulation, sealing, the 3 mysteries. Because of the engravings, Luo Feng's created techniques already had complete space laws within them. Hence recalling those engravings made Luo Feng feel a little emotional. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more. That feeling is getting closer and closer. I can comprehend and break through at any time, just a little bit more. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and stopped his training, because his consciousness connected to the virtual universe received a mail, and it was an extremely important one. In the mail settings, normal friend's mail was set to not disturb him. Only his wife, son, teacher and other important people's mail could be filtered through the virtual assistant and interrupt his training. Primal Chaos City Leader Teacher wants to see me? He wants to see me. Don't tell me. Luo Feng had a thought. He couldn't help but worry. Virtual Universe Thunder Island, endless primal chaos energy shrouded it. Behind the palace was a winding pathway. Luo Feng and the primal chaos city leader were walking side by side. Teacher called me here and didn't say anything. It made me very nervous. Luo Feng said. I didn't say anything. I was just thinking about how to convince you. Luo Feng, you should have guessed what's going on, right? The primal chaos city leader looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded when he heard that. When I was in primal chaos city, I let the virtual universe system appraise the Qi Mirror Stone. I knew something like this would happen. Before, I was hoping the virtual universe system would keep it a secret and not reveal this information. Before the appraisal, Luo Feng didn't expect the Fan Noa Castle leader to actually want the Qi Mirror Stone. If it wasn't as important, it wouldn't have caused such a huge commotion. After the appraisal, Luo Feng knew it was the Qi Mirror Stone, but it was already too late. The virtual universe system normally keeps it a secret. The Primal Chaos City leader said, "This matter has been carefully analyzed, finally confirmed. This matter affects the entire race, hence it chose to inform every single universe lord." Luo Feng nodded. The situation right now is very simple. The Primal Chaos City leader walked to a table outside the walkway, casually summoning his servants. 2 of them respectfully brought over the delicacies. Luo Feng, sit, and we'll talk. Luo Feng followed and sat down. Looking at the food and drinks on the table, he knew that the Primal Chaos City teacher placed a lot of importance on this matter. At least the preparations were very exquisite. In the past, he would usually converse with his teacher at the edge of the cliff, in front of the palace or in the main hall. This time, they came to the corridor behind the palace and even sat down to converse. The situation is very simple. Because you were appraising the treasure in Primal Chaos City, The virtual universe system sent the information to the creator of the huge axe and all the other universe lords. The primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng, which means, the strongest upper echelon of humanity all know about it. We have come to a decision on how to deal with this matter. Luo Feng's ears twitched. Decision? He immediately turned to look at his teacher. Primal Chaos City Master saw this and said, I believe you can guess the result. What result? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The clan really needs this divergent mirror stone. The Primal Chaos City Master emphasized, the divergent mirror stone is connected to an absolute treasure. The Divergent God Palace is the biggest treasure trove in the entire Primal Planet's history. This treasure is extremely important. Even though our human race is strong, we don't have an absolute treasure guarding it. To be able to have one more pinnacle domain level treasure to our human race, it's a huge benefit. No absolute treasures guarding it? Luo Feng was stunned. The human race, no absolute treasures, our human race. We really don't have any absolute treasures? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The Primal Chaos City Master hesitated for a moment, shaking his head. No, before we had one, now we don't. Before we had one? Luo Feng was even more suspicious. There seemed to be a story behind all this. However, according to the information he had read in the Virtual Universe Network, with his current position, he had indeed found out a lot of important information. Through the information, the absolute treasures in the universe were indeed extremely rare. According to what Mountain Guest said, even the strongest warriors in the universe didn't have any absolute treasures. Absolute treasures could completely make the strongest warriors in the universe go crazy for them. Even the strongest of the universe, the ancestral god Sex Guardian treasure, was an absolute treasure. From this, one could see how rare the absolute treasures were. However, Luo Feng didn't expect that the incomparably strong Great Alliance and human race actually didn't have any absolute treasures. We don't have any. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. The universe's 9 great powers, 5 of them have them. However, our human race indeed doesn't have any. Luo Feng felt a sense of anxiety. The human race was weak in this aspect. Hence the treasure related to the Divergent Mirror Stone should be comparable to our human race's most important treasure. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng, and all the universe lords think with the Divergent Mirror Stone in your hands, if you were to attempt that shrine, the result would be very bad. If we were to give this stone to the creator of the huge axe to attempt, his chances would definitely be much higher. The creator of the huge axe? Luo Feng was shocked within. That was the strongest warrior in the universe. Of course we won't force you. The Primal Chaos City Master raised his wine glass, looking at it. Everything is up to you. After which he looked up at Luo Feng, his eyes staring straight ahead. Teacher hopes you can help the human race once. Luo Feng was shocked. Help? He wasn't an idiot, training to where he was today, and wandering the universe for 50,000 years. Luo Feng's vision was incomparably clear. Actually, the moment the Primal Chaos City Master summoned him, Luo Feng had already guessed many things. It was just that the Primal Chaos City Master's negotiation methods were extremely straightforward. Without any other methods, he directly analyzed the situation and told everything to Luo Feng, sincerely using his position as the Universe Lord, as his teacher, to ask Luo Feng to help the human race once. This made it hard for Luo Feng to reject. Teacher, Luo Feng said. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. There are a total of 36 divergent mirror stones scattered across 10,081 primal stars. Don't tell me our human race didn't even get one? Luo Feng asked. We didn't. The Primal Chaos City Master raised his head and drank a glass of wine. From these words, he could already feel that Luo Feng wasn't too willing, after which he placed his glass down. The human race's warrior numbers are only a small portion of the entire universe. Just like the Northern Border Alliance, they have the most warriors in the entire universe. Their knight numbers are over 100 times that of our great alliance. The stronger they are, scattered across the various primal stars, the chances of getting the divergent mirror stones are naturally higher. I estimate that the Northern Border Alliance would at most get 1 or 2. After all, compared to the entire universe, the Northern Border Alliance is only a small portion. Even the Northern Border Alliance might only get 1 or 2. How many can our human race get? The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. So few? Luo Feng was stunned. Right. The number of inheritors and knights in the Great Alliance were far fewer than the Northern Border Alliance. On the Primal Star, the number of knights that had died in his hands alone exceeded 20. There are still the 9 Domains Alliance, Thorn Ring Alliance, etc. in the universe. There are also other weaker allied powers. Even though they are weak, their numbers are huge. Hence, many of the 36 divergent mirror stones will be acquired by these powers. When the time comes, through the 36 passages of the Divergent God Palace, these powers will be able to acquire powerful treasures. Maybe, this is one of the universe's methods of balance. Luo Feng nodded as he heard. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. Give me an answer, are you willing or not? Teacher, your disciple isn't willing. Luo Feng said directly. The Primal Chaos City Master frowned, after which he relaxed. You aren't willing? The 36 warriors that entered this time may be slightly lesser, some of them don't even recognize the divergent mirror stones. But those that enter, over half of them will be universe lords or even the strongest in the universe. The rest will be the pinnacle of the universe, or even the universe lord. If one doesn't even have the strength of a universe lord, he doesn't even have the right to enter. This has been the rule of the opening of the primal star, the biggest treasure trove. And in the end, the ones that acquire the absolute treasures are usually universe lords or the strongest in the universe. Do you know what are the strongest in the universe? The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. Even if teacher meets one, he might fall. They are the most terrifying beings in the universe. You still want to go? The Primal Chaos City Master was anxious. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. It was because he knew the details, knowing that the divergent mirror stones weren't based on strength, but were distributed randomly, leading to the universe's strong and weak powers to obtain them, along with the different pathways. He could totally take a gamble. One had to know that in history, every time the primal star opened the biggest treasure trove, according to the Primal Chaos City Master, it was always the universe lord or the universe's strongest that acquired the absolute treasures. If I were to step into the universe lord level, my body would be much stronger, the armor would be able to activate the third form. Even if I were to go get the 5th black metal board, back then I heard teachers sitting passengers say, the 5th black metal board might give me an unexpected situation. However, no matter, at that time I would already be able to activate the Star Pagoda. Even if I met the universe's strongest, I could hide within the Star Pagoda and he wouldn't be able to do anything to me. The Star Pagoda was an absolute treasure. The human race didn't even have an absolute treasure. The Star Pagoda had no owner to control it, placed in the outer region battlefield, causing the 4 pinnacle races to fight, causing the universe's strongest to go crazy, yet no one could take it away. This was power. Luo Feng relied on the Star Pagoda. Naturally, he didn't fear any being. Since that was the case, since he had such confidence, the Divergent God Palace, naturally he would enter it himself. If he was strong, his race would be strong too. Don't you think your strength isn't enough? The Primal Chaos City Master couldn't help but say, it's too dangerous for you to go. Teacher. Luo Feng looked at the Primal Chaos City Master. Your disciple currently has the strength of an elite universe lord. P.S. Chapter 1 has ended. Not finished yet. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11-12. The table was filled with the most famous delicacies of the universe, however Luo Feng didn't touch at all. The primal Chaos City leader gently poured some wine and smiled at Luo Feng. Pinnacle Universe Overlord strength? I know your body is comparable to a Universe Knight, and you have the 9 Hell clone as a foundation. It can be said to have an endless supply of God energy. Your golden horned beast clone is also 1,000 km long God body, along with the high-level armor. Even an elite universe tyrant would find it hard to kill you, but that doesn't mean you have that level of power. Luo Feng looked at his teacher with determination. The primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Their eyes met. Really? Primal Chaos City master couldn't help but ask. Luo Feng nodded. Then those alien race warriors who died because of you, were you the one who killed them? The primal Chaos City master couldn't help but ask. Luo Feng nodded. The primal Chaos City leader carefully observed Luo Feng. He watched as Luo Feng rose up, and the speed of his rise far surpassed his expectations. Even though Luo Feng's words were shocking, with their close to 100,000 years of teacher and disciple relationship, the primal Chaos City leader felt that it could very well be true. We'll talk about this later. The primal Chaos City leader shook his head. Luo Feng, I'm your teacher, I won't harm you. Please speak, teacher. Luo Feng listened. The Qi Mirror Stone is related to the most important supreme treasure since the opening of the primitive star. The primal Chaos City Lord said solemnly. The news of you possessing the divergent Mirror Stone is known to the masters of the universe and the creator of the huge axe. Although they won't force you to hand it over, if you really don't hand it over, I'm afraid that the masters of the universe will be unhappy with you. In the future, you are destined to become a member of the highest echelon of the human race. It is not a good thing to make them unhappy now. Luo Feng nodded as he listened. So what if you have the strength of a peak universe overlord? More than half of those who enter the Divergent God Palace will be universe lords. There might even be 1 or 2 of the universe's strongest experts involved. The 36 passages of the Divergent God Palace were more considerate towards the weak, but after all, strength was the foundation. In the end, the ones who would truly fight for the supreme treasure would definitely be the Lord of the universe or the strongest expert in the universe. Even if you are a top universe overlord, you still have to step aside. The primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Your insistence on going caused the masters of the universe to be slightly dissatisfied. 2. He wouldn't be able to obtain the supreme treasure. Why bother? The primal Chaos City leader started from the perspective of the race, and now from the perspective of benefits. His only goal was to make Luo Feng hand over the Divergence Mirror Stone. Good for Luo Feng, good for everyone. Moreover, the race will compensate you. After all, this Divergent Mirror Stone belongs to you. The primal Chaos City master said. A Divergent Mirror Stone is worth 20 treasure points? 30 supreme treasure points? As long as you are willing, I believe the clan will provide you with sufficient compensation. Luo Feng sighed within. If a universe lord had obtained the Divergent Mirror Stone, his race would not have to deal with such trivial matters. Now, because he had the potential to stand at the highest level of his race, he was speaking to him politely. If he was just an ordinary universe supremacy, the treatment would probably be completely different. But, after all, he was the one who obtained the Qi Mirror Stone. It belonged to him. Teacher wishes for you to hand it over. The primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng looked at the primal Chaos City leader's expression. If it was a normal universe lord, he wouldn't even bother with him. However, the city leader had been very kind to him, silently guiding and teaching him. Teacher, you just said that if I offer myself to the tribe will compensate me. Luo Feng took a deep breath. My request isn't high either. I'll use the Divergent Mirror Stone to exchange for the other half of Earth's ownership. Which means I want to get Earth back. Return my home to me. That's my request. If you agree, give the divergent mirror stone to the tribe. I don't need anything else, just the other half of Earth's ownership. If you don't agree, I won't hand over the divergent mirror stone, Luo Feng said. The primal Chaos City leader was slightly stunned. Earth? Right, Earth. Luo Feng nodded. Silence. The two absolute beings of the universe on both sides of the table, the teacher and disciple, were momentarily silent. You want Earth? The primal Chaos City leader was silent for a while before saying slowly, how do you plan to deal with the aliens? Back then, I spent 50 billion mixed elements to make me lose half of Earth's ownership, allowing large amounts of aliens to live in Earth's oceans, floating cities above the oceans, etc. They are after all aliens, not our Earth people. That is the origin of our Earth people, our home. I'll make all those aliens leave. Land, ocean. They're all Earth peoples, Luo Feng emphasized. Back then, under the pressure of the tribe, they had no choice but to lower their heads and hand over half of Earth's ownership. However, from then on, Luo Feng had gritted his teeth. He had been waiting silently, hoping for the day he could get Earth back. These few years on Earth, the aliens had always been arrogant. Luo Feng could only suppress them to not mess around. However, the aliens still looked down on the Earth natives. However, that blue planet was after all the home of the Earth people. Chase them away? The primal Chaos City leader pondered. Teacher, back then I only spent 50 billion mixed elements. Luo Feng smiled. 50 billion mixed elements, it's not even worth a tiny bit of a treasure. Right now, I'm taking out the divergent mirror stone. If we count the profits, it's already multiplied by 10,000 to 1,000,000 times. I understand your thoughts. The primal Chaos City leader nodded. This matter, I can't make the decision, however I'll give you an answer very soon. Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng wasn't an idiot. He wasn't a fool who would be blinded by the tribe's words, selflessly sacrifice himself. Did he contribute all his treasures to make some other powerhouse even stronger? One had to know. Ever since he stepped out of Earth and into the universe, Luo Feng had always had a responsibility on his shoulders. Earth. The rise of the Earthlings and their future destiny would all depend on him. Hence Luo Feng definitely wouldn't easily give up on a chance to grow stronger. What's more, the divergent mirror stone was obtained by himself. The Divergent God Palace was the primal star's biggest treasure trove this time. Luo Feng really wanted to go. However, since his teacher had personally asked, and was so sincere. Plus, deep within Luo Feng's heart, the most important dream was to retrieve Earth. Compared to retrieving Earth, the importance of the Divergent Mirror Stone was obviously much lower. Retrieving Earth, in my plans, isn't an easy task. If I can take this chance, I'll succeed. Even if I lose the Divergent Mirror Stone, it's nothing. Luo Feng thought. Humanity and Earth. Even though Luo Feng had a sense of belonging to humanity, his sense of belonging to Earth was even stronger. He was the leader of the Earth people, their spiritual leader. He shouldered the fate of Earth. Secondly, he was a part of humanity. What's more, the Divergent Mirror Stone was just a bonus for humanity. It didn't affect the rise or fall of humanity at all. Naturally, he didn't have to care about the bigger picture. In the dark space, stars twinkled. Numerous universe lords were seated on both sides of the long stone table. Primal chaos, there's a result? Gathering us all here, is there a reason? That Luo Feng will reject, that's impossible. Primal chaos, as his teacher, even with you personally making a move, can't you convince him? How would he dare reject? And with that bit of ability of his, isn't it a waste to use the Divergent Mirror Stone? Primal chaos, if you can't convince him, I'll go find this punk. In the main seat, the creator of the huge axe swept his gaze. Immediately all the universe lords went silent. Primal chaos, speak to them. The creator ordered. Luo Feng has agreed. The primal chaos city leader looked around at the other universe lords. However, he raised a condition. Haha, good. He really agreed. As long as he agreed, the condition is to compensate him. What condition? Some of the universe lords immediately spoke up, while others watched silently. If the matter was simple, they wouldn't have been summoned twice. The primal Chaos City leader continued. His condition is very simple: return the other half of Earth to him. Earth is his home. Back then, he used 50 billion mixed elements to buy half of Earth, allowing all the large powers to send large amounts of their descendants into the seas and skies of Earth. Now he wants to take back Earth. What about the descendants of the various races? A cold voice resounded. Luo Feng wants to expel all the alien descendants, leaving only the Earth people. The primal Chaos City leader said. No. Definitely not. This is impossible. More and more universe lords spoke up, filled with rage. When Earth was discovered back then, it attracted attention. However, back then, the creator of Giant Axe believed that it was a special planet specially modified and refined by mountain guests. Back then, the masters of the universe were only curious and believed that mountain guests' handiwork must be extraordinary. However, they didn't know how precious Earth was. However, after 100,000 years, Luo Feng had been growing for 100,000 years now, and those alien immigrants had moved to Earth for 100,000 years too. In this period of time, many generations of alien descendants were born on Earth, and as long as they were born, they would go through the nurturing of their respective races, discovering that their comprehension abilities were very high, their mental states were easy to train, giving birth to strong warriors and geniuses had a very high probability. Mental states seemed normal, not important at the start of training. However, as one progressed, universe level, domain lord, sector lord, the higher one progressed, the more important it became. This caused the various masters of the universe to gasp in shock. Such powerful Earth! Such a powerful mountain guest! The souls of these descendants who were born on Earth must have undergone some changes, causing their mental state and temperament to be tempered and nurtured to have a much higher success rate. In just a mere 100,000 years, a batch of geniuses and experts had appeared. There were even a bunch of world overlords. If as time passed, just Earth alone was enough to create one of the strongest branches of humanity. It wouldn't pale in comparison to the Flame God race back then. Compared to the Flame God race, Earth's strength was much stronger. No way. That's a special planet created by Mountain Guest, it's priceless. It won't pale in comparison to a pinnacle domain treasure. This won't do. Let him change his conditions. The Universe Lords spoke. P.S. 2 chapters completed. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11-13. Earth, no. Divergent Mirror Stone, it's just one of the 36, it's not enough to trade for Earth. The primal Chaos City leader saw that the other universe lords didn't agree. He frowned and said, back then with our virtual universe company taking the lead, we only spent 50 billion mixed elements to buy the rights to Earth's oceans, and it wasn't a one-time payment, it was split into 3 payments. Right now with the Divergent Mirror Stone, I think it's about time. Primal Chaos. Primal Chaos. At the same time, 2 universe lords spoke. They exchanged glances and one of them, a giant with 3 horns and a body covered in scales, said solemnly, back then, that Luo Feng was just a small fry. 50 billion mixed elements was already an astronomical price to him. Even though it was your virtual universe company taking the lead to sign the contract, our Universe Mercenary Alliance and the other parties too had an agreement with you. That Earth's oceans, skies, everything else belongs to the 5 parties. Our 5 parties can all send their descendants to live on Earth, and after 100,000 years, you should know how special Earth is. What a mysterious planet. The children born there are actually so much more nurtured. At the start their improvement speed is the same as the other planet's descendants, however as time goes on, As long as they continue to nurture them, their improvement speed will far surpass the other planet's descendants. Unbelievable mountain guest, he was actually able to create such a planet. I wonder how much he paid back then, to be able to change the infant's soul. How unbelievable is that? Mountain guest, he's indeed the strongest of the ancient universe, the giant exclaimed. As the highest echelon of humanity, they all knew of Mountain Guest's existence. The strongest of the universe, even though the human race had them. When the universe was just born, humans were like children learning to walk, just beginning to reproduce. The invincible beings that ruled the universe were the special life forms. Those special life forms were naturally strong, like the 8 beast gods, etc., and Mountain Guest was the strongest of the universe when the universe was just born, a lone ranger. Earth is constantly producing strong warriors, the giant said solemnly. It's completely capable of creating a huge branch of humanity. Its value isn't any lower than a pinnacle domain treasure. I definitely won't agree to easily trade. I don't agree either. I don't agree. The Universe First Bank, Universe Galaxy Bank, these two powers leaders spoke simultaneously. This made the Primal Chaos City leader frown. Chi Mirrorstone, what should we do? The huge axe creator's voice was powerful. If you guys aren't willing to return Earth, Luo Feng won't hand over the divergent Mirrorstone either. What our human race lacks are supreme treasures. As for peak-level domain-type supreme treasures, our human race has quite a few of them. Furthermore, the divergent Mirrorstone only represents a chance to obtain a supreme treasure of that level. Haven't we had a lot of opportunities like this? Take the Cosmic Sea, for example. If you dare to risk your life, you can obtain a peak domain-type supreme treasure at any time. 1 in 36 chance to obtain a peak-grade domain-type treasure. You want to trade for Earth? Impossible. Yes. I agree with Huang Jian. The Universe Mercenary Alliance, Universe First Bank and Universe Galaxy Bank's 3 leaders all expressed their views. Attention all, my disciple Luo Feng. The Primal Chaos City leader spoke. Right now his strength should be at the level of an elite universe tyrant. Hua. All the masters of the universe, including the creator of the giant axe, looked over. Chaos, are you joking? Luo Feng has only trained for how long, and he's already an elite universe overlord. Did you see it with your own eyes? It's fake, right? Impossible. None of the universe lords could believe that Luo Feng, who had only trained for 100,000 years and stepped into the undying level 20,000 years ago, had already reached the level of an elite universe overlord. Probably not many in the vast universe would dare believe it. Primal chaos, is it real? The creator of the huge axe couldn't help but ask. The Primal Chaos City leader swept his gaze around and nodded. I haven't personally tested it, but with my 100,000 years of teacher and disciple relationship with Luo Feng, along with my knowledge of him, since he dares to say it, it can't be fake. You haven't even personally tested it. So it hasn't been confirmed yet. The universe lords who hadn't truly interacted with Luo Feng before all smiled and shook their heads. Primal chaos, that Luo Feng could be trying to gain more from the divergent Mirrorstone and Earth incident, hence he's using your teacher and disciple relationship to intentionally say that. Because he believes you as his teacher will believe him. The leader of the Universe Mercenary Alliance, Huang Jian, immediately laughed. Huang Jian, you think my disciple is like your disciple? The Primal Chaos City leader's eyes gleamed with rage. Huang Jian laughed, not daring to speak further. The Primal Chaos City leader was after all the leader of the Virtual Universe Company, whether it was strength or position, probably only the creator of the huge axe had the right to suppress him. And even the Primal Universe was controlled by the Primal Chaos City leader. All of these made the Primal Chaos City leader's position much higher than his. Humanity's 5 great Leviathans, the huge Axe Dojo and the Virtual Universe Company were the strongest, the Universe Mercenary Alliance, Universe First Bank and Universe Galaxy Bank were all weaker. Even if Luo Feng is an elite universe overlord, if he wants to challenge the divergent god shrine, let him do it, let him suffer a little. As for exchanging for Earth, the divergent mirror stone is far from enough. Exchanging for the rights to Earth with the stone won't do. The primal Chaos City leader couldn't help but sigh within. To be able to become a universe lord, these great beings all had different temperament. Cold and arrogant, untamed and unruly, merciful on the outside but ruthless on the inside, there were all of them. If they didn't cross the bottom line, humanity would naturally tolerate these absolute beings. These absolute beings had their own privileges, as long as they didn't cross the bottom line. Amongst the universe lords, the primal Chaos City leader usually presided over humanity. He was the one who placed the most emphasis on the big picture. From his point of view, even though Earth was important, letting the other powers nurture some geniuses, or letting Earth produce geniuses, wouldn't they still be a part of humanity? Humanity's overall strength was still strong, and they could still gain Luo Feng's gratitude and loyalty. What's more, humanity's territory was so vast, even if Earth could match up to the Flame God race, it was only a small portion of humanity's overall strength. The moment it touches on their own benefits, they won't easily agree. The primal Chaos City leader sighed within. This matter ends here. The huge axe creator in the main seat shouted. The other universe lords all quietened down and looked over. Primal Chaos. The huge axe creator looked at the primal Chaos City leader. The primal Chaos City leader slightly lowered his head in respect, listening carefully. Go tell Luo Feng, exchanging for the rights to Earth with the divergent mirror stone is impossible. As for his stone, if he doesn't agree to the other terms, the race won't force him. The huge axe creator smiled. As for the rights to Earth, tell him, as long as he reaches a certain level of strength, naturally, anything is possible. Understood. The primal Chaos City leader smiled. The other masters of the universe were somewhat astonished. Huge axe this. The huge axe creator's gaze swept and said coldly, when Luo Feng is able to sit with us, that's when the rights to Earth will return to him. The 10 universe lords could only lower their heads, expressing their compliance. Humanity, if the huge axe creator really gave the order, no one could go against it. Luo Feng quickly received the news. When he heard it from his teacher, it made Luo Feng both angry and hopeful. The anger was because back then he only used 50 billion mixed elements to buy half of the rights to Earth, and now he couldn't even exchange for the stone that was worth tens of thousands to millions of times. He was anticipating the huge axe creator's promise. So Earth is so important, no wonder he won't easily return it. Will I sit with them? Luo Feng thought. Soon. Earth will ultimately belong to us humans. Luo Feng thought. Close to 100,000 years, he had been working hard to strengthen himself, all so that one day, he could completely carry the sky for the humans of Earth. This was because he was the strongest person on Earth, the god that Earthlings worshipped and the spiritual leader of Earth. Actually back then when Luo Feng had just stepped into the universe, especially as the leader of Earth, he had blocked danger after danger for Earth, causing the people of Earth to worship him. Worship, extreme worship of a hero. And as time passed, day after day, year after year, especially the people of Earth that roamed the universe felt the benefits Luo Feng had brought them, naturally they worshipped him even more. Worshipped for 100,000 years, generations after generations, Luo Feng had completely become the symbol of Earth, the leader. My strength, very soon, will be enough to completely protect Earth. Luo Feng thought. Far away in the North Border Alliance, within the palace of the great Star River leader. Star River leader. Both of the Light Lord's heads were filled with respect. The Alliance leader revived you. A voice resounded in the dark space above the palace. And you say, the one who killed you back then was Luo Feng? Yes. Light Lord said respectfully, he killed me in one blade, just one blade. Luo Feng left the beast god world and returned to the actual universe. When he returned to the primal star, he was seen as a human moving treasure trove by the other races. And the first person to meet Luo Feng back then was the Light Lord. However, the blurry Light Lord was killed by Luo Feng in one slash. Are you sure it was Luo Feng? And just one blade? The dark space said again. Star River Leader, I'm incomparably sure. This is the scene of him killing me back then, Light Lord said respectfully, simultaneously using his god energy to replay the scene in his memories. Luo Feng's cold and sharp blade became a glaring gold light, one blade slashing through the Light Lord's normal armor and killing him immediately. Silence. Star River Leader was silent too. Before, when he revived a large number of knights, some of them said they were personally killed by Luo Feng. That already meant Luo Feng had the strength of a universe overlord. However, the Light Lord himself was a universe overlord. To be able to kill colorful Light Overlord with one slash, he was definitely a peak overlord of the universe. Stepping into Undying after just 20,000 years. The dark space's voice was filled with shock. Send the order. His voice resounded in the ears of every universe venerable in the entire palace complex. All the universe venerables respectfully waited. The human Luo Feng has the strength of an elite universe overlord, comparable to the human Tianshi palace leader. Spread this news, spread it throughout the universe. Let all the powers in the universe know, especially the Bug Clan, Demon Clan and Automaton who hate humanity the most. They will definitely do their best to get rid of Luo Feng as soon as possible. To reach the Tianshi Palace leader's level so quickly, if he's given another few 100,000 years, won't the human race gain another primal Chaos City leader? Yes. 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 The universe paragons in the palace complex all obeyed the order. Very quickly, the news began to spread from the various channels of the Northern Border Alliance. The Northern Border Alliance was the superpower with the most races and the most supremacies in the universe. When they took the initiative to spread the news within a day, the 9 superpowers of the universe and many other top powers in the vast universe, almost everyone knew about it. The news naturally spread back to the human race. The human knights all knew about it too. Sovereign Tru Yen, Sovereign Yunzhou, Sovereign Nine Swords, Sovereign Ganwu, Sovereign Tianshi, Sovereign Undying, Sovereign Guiyi, they all received this shocking news on the same day. An unbelievable being, Luo Feng, had truly shaken the upper echelons of the universe. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11-14. Flaming God Territory, 3 continents surrounded by endless flames, within the main palace of the floating palaces. The human Luo Feng has the strength of an elite universe overlord? He killed Misty Light Lord with one blade? Impossible! The Flame Emperor roared furiously, his eyes burning with a crazed and twisted flame. He was extremely prideful in his bones, and he always thought he was personally nurtured by Mountain Passenger. He looked down on his first senior, who was originally a servant of his teacher. Whether in terms of talent or treasures, he was weaker than him. He had always yearned to be on par with his teacher, or even stronger. And with Luo Feng's appearance, Luo Feng was the 3rd disciple. Similarly, Teacher Mountain Passenger had spent countless amounts of effort to nurture him. Even more so, he had prepared the absolute treasure Star Pagoda. The Flame Emperor yearned for that treasure. However, it was useless. He was especially wary of this 3rd disciple. He felt this was the biggest threat to him. 100,000 years. Reaching the strength of an elite universe overlord in just 100,000 years. How can it be so fast? How can it be? The Flame Emperor roared. It must be Teacher Mountain Passenger, it must be arranged by him. Luo Feng himself doesn't have the ability to do all this. Biased, teacher mountain passenger is too biased towards third disciple. Give him the absolute treasure. And now he's helping him, allowing a punk that has only been an undying for 20,000 years to reach the strength of an elite universe overlord. The Flame Emperor's expression was vicious. Just watch. Just watch. Teacher mountain passenger, no matter how much you help him, he'll never catch up to me. He'll always be under my feet. I'll definitely become stronger, even stronger than you. The space around the Flame Emperor warped and cracked. His eyes under his horn were terrifying and crazy. The news spread, shocking all the powers in the universe. And almost at the same time, another piece of news spread. The Bug Clan Alliance's Zhongzhan Knight had been revived in time and space. Zhongzhan Knight had a high-level armor, however he was still killed by Luo Feng. Zhongzhan Knight said directly, "Back then the one who killed me was Luo Feng. I had the high-level armor back then, and was confident in my defense. However, with just one slash it damaged half of my body. 2 blades and I was destroyed." This news was even more explosive. Even a universe overlord wearing a high-grade supreme treasure armor was killed with just 2 slashes. This was even more terrifying than killing the dazzling Light Lord with 1 strike. High-grade supreme treasure armor. Even someone wearing a high-grade supreme treasure armor died? They are the overlords of the universe. This is too exaggerated. It's definitely the peak strength of a universe overlord. What a coincidence. The Northern Border Alliance just released the news, and the Insectoid Alliance released the same news as well. It's extremely hard to revive an overlord. Zhongzhan Knight definitely didn't revive at the start. It's just that the moment the news of Luo Feng killing Fengguang Lord spread, the Bug Clan Alliance probably wanted to confirm the truth, so they immediately revived. Resurrect Venerable Zhongzhan as well. Who would have thought that Venerable Zhongzhan would reveal such explosive news? The 2 pieces of news spread one after the other on the same day. The first news was that Luo Feng had killed the Busy Light leader. The second piece of news was even more exaggerated. He had killed Venerable Zhongzhan, who possessed a high-grade precious armor. These 2 pieces of news were like 2 storms that swept across the entire universe. Within the automaton race's own universe, countless crystal lights connected to planets and stars. The entire universe was like a huge net, with countless crystal lights connecting everywhere. My children, that little human fellow who has only cultivated for 100,000 years already possesses such great strength? To be able to kill a universe overlord wearing a high-grade armor? Is this true? A voice resounded throughout every corner of the universe. Father, I've already contacted the Thorn Ring Alliance. This is indeed true. I've investigated too. It's indeed true. I've already seen the memory of Venerable Zhongzhan being killed. Father, Luo Feng cannot be left alive. Father! From every corner of the universe, voices resounded. The automaton race was a very special race, as they were all living AIs. In the deepest core of their AIs, there was an order to obey. Towards the automaton race's pioneer, that magnificent being, the universe's strongest god, every automaton race member respected him. Under his orders, even if they were to die, they wouldn't resist at all. This was the automaton race, the incomparably united automaton race. He's only been an undying for a short period of time, a mere 20,000 years, and he already has the strength of an elite universe overlord. If we allow him to grow, he'll definitely become a threat to our automaton race. Father's voice resounded throughout the universe. Children, pass down my orders. Begin searching for all information on Luo Feng, and get rid of him as soon as possible. He has to be killed before he becomes the Universe Lord. Yes. Yes, Father. The automaton race, bug race and demon race were all shaken, and the highest level, the strongest of the universe. One had to know that the human race, bug race, demon race and automaton race, these were the 4 great races that bordered each other. always fighting and killing each other. Over the countless years, who knew how much hatred they had accumulated, and within these fights, many strong warriors were born. They actually looked down on the prison race and crystal race, they hated and respected their opponent. The moment one of the four great races became stronger, the other three would secretly join forces. They didn't even need to discuss in secret, they would naturally join forces on certain matters. When a certain absolute genius was born, the other three would also secretly make their move. Too much hatred had accumulated, they definitely wouldn't allow one to become stronger. Of course, if one race suddenly fell, the other three would be very happy to see it, and would even kick them when they were down. His growth is too fast. If we allow him to grow, he'll definitely become another primal Chaos City leader. When that time comes, even the strongest of the universe will find it hard to kill him. We have to kill him early. Kill him! Before he becomes the Universe Lord, kill him. Pass down my orders, all the warriors of the Demon Alliance on the primal planet, pay attention to Luo Feng's movements. The moment they discover him, immediately report up. Pass down my orders. The automaton race, bug race and demon race all treated this as the most important matter. They were very clear on what it meant for a race to produce an absolute being. Just like the 9 Underworld Lord, even though he wasn't the strongest in the universe, just the 9 Underworld Lord alone was enough to give the pinnacle races a headache. One had to know that Luo Feng had a natural talent of cloning. In the future, even if his body died in battle, he could revive. An extremely strong Universe Lord with a natural talent of cloning, that was definitely a nightmare for the enemy races. Of course it was a solid pillar for their own race. We have to kill him. Even though the Northern Border Alliance wanted Luo Feng dead too, from the perspective of the entire alliance, they were more relaxed. After all, the ones that should be worried were the automaton race, demon race and bug race. Like the Ancestral God Sect, Space Beast Alliance, Prison Clan, Crystal Clan, naturally they were watching the show from the side, watching the 4 pinnacle races fight. However, that human Luo Feng is really powerful. Even though they were watching from the side, they were all shocked. If he can survive this and become the Universe Lord, then he'll truly be in control. I'm afraid no one will be able to do anything to him. The other universe races were all shocked. The shock within the Great Alliance and the human race was even greater. Virtual Universe Great Alliance Inner City, an outdoor bar. The entire Hong Alliance was bustling with activity. Most of the universe venerables were gathered here today. Usually there would be thousands of universe venerables, but today there were shockingly many. Just the human race alone had more than 90% of the thousands of universe venerables. The other races of the Great Alliance had all arrived too. Luo Feng is really powerful. How can he be so strong? His improvement is simply too heaven-defying. Even compared to your human race's Flame Emperor from back then, the Flame Emperor's growth speed can't match up to his. The discussions were all over. When one's strength was close, there would be jealousy. Just like when Luo Feng moved to the middle of the mountain of Thunder Island, many of the knights were unhappy with him. However, when Luo Feng's strength reached a level that made them dumbstruck, even a universe tyrant could be killed with one blade. This level of strength was something that all the knights here could only look up to. Miracle. Legend. This is a miracle in human history. Right, where's Tru Yen? He's Luo Feng's teacher. Tru Yen fled long ago, even his communication was shut. There are probably too many knights looking for him. Haha. Within the bar, the Ganwu country leader's laughter was clear, discussing Luo Feng with the other knights. Regarding Luo Feng's strength, the Ganwu country leader was a little dumbfounded, following which he was happy. Luo Feng was after all very close to him. He was his son's teacher. Luo Feng's son is your disciple, right? Haha, yes. I heard Luo Feng has another son. Within the God country, the endless dark ocean rippled and expanded. Large amounts of life were being created and absorbed into the ocean, causing it to continue expanding. It's really crazy. High up in the sky, before the shrine that was bathed in golden light, Luo Feng sat crossed-legged, shaking his head and smiling. Back when he killed a few knights and universe tyrants, he didn't hide it at all. Hence he knew that the moment those warriors revived, naturally the news would be made public. Luo Feng had long been prepared, however he didn't expect it to be this crazy. After chatting with the Primal Chaos City leader, Tru Yen and a few good friends, the large amounts of communication requests made Luo Feng cut off the virtual universe. It's still better to quietly train. Luo Feng smiled and closed his eyes. No matter how the universe shook, no matter how countless warriors were shocked, no matter how happy humanity's friends were, no matter how jealous his enemies were, the outside world was incomparably noisy. However, within the God country it was completely silent. Hua hua, only the endless dark ocean's water was rippling. The noisy outside world. The silent God country. Luo Feng, who was alone, teleportation, kill, lockdown. Luo Feng muttered. He opened his eyes and his God energy surged. Countless amounts of God energy formed origin law threads, and in mid-air, 3 incomplete engravings appeared. Following which the 3 engravings immediately fused and perfectly fused, a perfect engraved picture appeared. This was similar to the beast engraved picture in the 9 universe tablets' 7th picture. Space laws done. Luo Feng revealed a smile. Rumble. Endless universe origin laws pressure descended upon the God country. The endless dark ocean began to boil. Author's note. The 20th chapter has ended. Tomato will rest for a day tomorrow and prepare for the new chapter. The day after tomorrow will begin the new chapter. Right now Qidian has organized an annual work and author selection event. You can see it on the main page of Swallowed Space. Usually there will be free tickets. Everyone support Tomato, hehe. Asterisk to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:15. Above the endless dark ocean was a huge 5-colored whirlpool. The 5-colored whirlpool spanned tens of billions of km, enveloping the entire sky. Metal, wood, water, fire and earth, the 5 laws were perfectly compatible. At the center of the whirlpool was a void, emitting the energy of the endless space origin laws. Hua hua hua, countless amounts of space energy could be seen surging from space and flowing into the endless dark ocean. The origin laws are descending. This scene is unprecedented. Luo Feng looked up and couldn't help but be shocked. In the history of the universe, there were many that became universe knights. Naturally, there were many records and pictures in the virtual universe. Luo Feng had naturally seen the scenes of other warriors breaking through. Every time a warrior broke through, there would be a 5-colored whirlpool origin laws descending. However, normally, the 5-colored whirlpool would be very small, like 100 kilometers in diameter, etc. However, when he broke through, the 5-colored whirlpool had a diameter of tens of billions of km. Hua hua, endless God power seawater poured out from the void that was over 10 billion kilometers in diameter. Rumble, like a waterfall, it directly rushed into the endless underworld sea, and the endless underworld sea clone was madly absorbing the God power to transform from undying to universe paragon. When I step into undying, the commotion is much stronger than when other warriors step into universe night. When I step into universe night, even though it's not as mysterious as when universe lord breaks through, in terms of commotion, it's definitely comparable to the scene when an absolute warrior steps into universe lord. Luo Feng's blood was boiling. The scene of the breakthrough too showed one's strength. From undying to universe night, the limit of one's body would increase by 100 times. A normal human's body would go from 100,000 to 10 million times Sector Lord's energy. And Luo Feng's endless dark ocean and golden-horned beast's life and genetics had reached a perfect level. Their natural God energy purity was 10,081 times. Plus the golden horned beast and the even larger endless dark ocean, the amount of God energy they devoured was unimaginable. Make use of the time. Make use of every minute and second to quickly devour the God energy and transform my body. Luo Feng looked up at the sky. That 10 billion kilometers diameter space tunnel, the endless amounts of God energy water poured down. I'll absorb. I'll absorb. The endless dark ocean was filled with waves and waves of joy. He madly absorbed the God energy water, and his body began to transform. Normally, when one broke through to the universe venerable realm, if they did not have a clone, they would be like the true Yen venerable. Thus, the origin of the universe would naturally descend directly above the true venerable, allowing the true venerable to devour the divine power more efficiently and quickly. If he had a clone, like Luo Feng. On the other hand, the universe's origin energy would descend upon the largest avatar with the most energy. This way, it would be more efficient in devouring divine power. For example, Luo Feng's earth body, golden horned beast and Masha clansmen were scattered across the universe. The moment he broke through to become a universe paragon, the universe origin energy directly appeared above the endless tranquil ocean. Because in a short period of time, the absorption rate of the endless sea of tranquility was more than 100 million times stronger than the golden horned beast, it was even higher than the earth body's absorption rate. Selecting the best to descend was also a gift from the universe to those who lived within it. The origin of the universe could only descend for a short time. Among the three levels of the immortal realm, the venerable realm, and the Lord of the universe, only the immortal realm could absorb as much as he wanted and perfectly transform his god body. As for the last two leaps, the amount of time one could absorb divine power was very short. How much one could absorb depended entirely on one's ability. After a while, everything had already dissipated. The endless tranquil ocean regained its calm. Only the undercurrents were surging and the god body was transforming. In the air, Luo Feng, the golden horned beast and the Masha clansmen gazed down. During the crazed process of the God energy ocean earlier, Luo Feng's other three bodies naturally easily transformed completely. Their God bodies were all strengthened by 100 times. The endless tranquil ocean is too huge. Even though I've been absorbing with all my might, I can only transform 12% of the endless tranquil ocean. Luo Feng thought. After close to 20,000 years of constant transformation, the endless tranquil ocean's diameter was close to 20 billion kilometers. And even though it absorbed a lot this time, it could only transform about 10 billion kilometers of the endless tranquil ocean, equivalent to the volume of the endless tranquil ocean when he first stepped into the undying realm, into a higher level of tranquil ocean. The God energy in the ocean water had increased by 100 times. Teacher True Yen has stepped into the universe paragon. His God body transformation rate has reached 92%. The normal rate for a human warrior to step into the universe paragon is around 90%. Occasionally, there are those who succeed at 100%. The Space Beast Alliance's golden horned beast's rate of transformation into the universe paragon is around 50%. Luo Feng muttered within. Of course, even though the latter was only 50%, it was still countless times more than the former. Only 12% of the endless tranquil ocean's volume had been transformed. However, the amount of God energy was countless times more than the golden horned beast's. This gain was huge enough. With this endless tranquil ocean, if I unleash I am the universe, haha, even the pinnacle of universe tyrants can be destroyed. Luo Feng was excited. It was already difficult for universe lords to kill the pinnacle of universe tyrant. It was difficult for him too. However, if he relied on I am the universe to give it a try, the chances of success were extremely high. Even though he had never truly clashed with a universe lord before, just from this point alone, Luo Feng realized that the gap between him and the Universe Lord shouldn't be that huge. Pinnacle of Universe Tyrants, even Universe Lords would have a hard time killing them. I have become 100 times stronger. If I really meet a Universe Lord, I'll definitely have a good fight. Luo Feng gazed down at the endless tranquil ocean. He felt the surging God energy within him, filled with anticipation. The God country was the foundation of an undying. As an undying strength grew, the God country would also gradually transform. Just like Luo Feng, when he reached the perfect gene level as a sector lord, his internal world reached 1,000,000,000 km in diameter. Just breaking through to undying, the huge God country he formed was even stronger than many of the Universe Lord's God countries. Over these 20,000 years, as the endless tranquil ocean expanded, the God country grew stronger too. The change in strength wasn't huge. However, at this time, Luo Feng had stepped into the Universe Lord level, and his quality had changed. The God country too had changed. Rumble, the sky and land changed color. As the God country gradually changed, it also constantly absorbed the God energy from the endless tranquil ocean. The endless tranquil ocean maintained a slower rate of output, allowing the output to match the endless tranquil ocean's recovery speed. Of course, with the endless tranquil ocean's volume, this slower rate of output was already terrifying. Stable. My control has gotten stronger. Luo Feng looked up at the endless land and land. It was almost like a grass hut transforming into a concrete hut. The previous God country, a Universe Lord could easily shake it and even cause it to crumble. However, the current God country, even if a Universe Lord used all his strength, he wouldn't be able to destroy such a stable and powerful God country. The God country's transformation lasted for about 3 days, after which it returned to normal. In the air above the endless tranquil ocean, that majestic shrine was surrounded by a layer of darkness, emitting endless space laws. Luo Feng stood before the shrine and gazed into the distance. In the distance, a silhouette was flying over. The ocean clone is here. Luo Feng thought. After the God country had just stabilized and completed its transformation, he made the ocean clone on Earth rush back to the God country. Hua! The ocean clone in mid-air immediately disintegrated, the God energy entering the endless tranquil ocean, leaving only the armor, blade and other treasures floating in mid-air. In just a moment, he used his innate secret technique, creation, to form another ocean clone. This newly formed ocean clone's God power purity was completely on par with Fan Nua Castle Master, a special life form universe paragon with 1,000 times the genetic level. The ocean clone's strength has risen by 100 times. Luo Feng thought, even against the strongest world tree, he'll probably have the upper hand. Let him guard Earth, that's enough. If I meet anything difficult to deal with, I'll be able to rush over. Haha, 4 great clones. The endless tranquil ocean is the source of the base, providing endless God energy. Star Pagoda, Calamity Armor, Beast God Armor. These are all extremely powerful treasures. My God body has even reached a perfect limit for a Universe Knight. The God country is even more stable and powerful, even if a Universe Lord were to attack. With the combination of the endless tranquil ocean and the God country, there's nothing to fear. My foundation has already been formed. With the Star Pagoda in hand, there's nothing to fear. Luo Feng's eyes exploded with a shocking God energy glow. His pressure filled the sky, causing the entire God country to change color. The reason why he didn't hide his identity when he killed Zhongzhan Knight and Blurry Light Lord was because he knew the day he would reveal his strength to the entire universe was coming soon, hence, revealing his strength earlier wasn't a big deal. Luo Feng, after I become a Universe Knight, it's the day I'll be unafraid of anyone in the universe. My foundation has already been formed, foreign races, if you want to destroy me, it's already too late. Luo Feng immediately turned and with a step, he vanished from the God country. Within the ship heading towards the primal universe. Lord Luo Feng. When Luo Feng entered the ship, the Emperor-level Undying captain was shocked. He was in charge of the ship transport between the virtual universe headquarters and the primal universe, hence his information network was exceptionally fast. He had long known that the absolute genius Luo Feng from back then had already become a great absolute being, far surpassing normal universe knights. Even countless foreign races in the universe wanted to kill him. Information regarding Lord Luo Feng is forbidden to be leaked. You all have to pay attention to all movements, be wary of any foreign spies. The upper echelon of the human race had long ordered, this captain knew about it too. You may leave, I don't need any servants here. Luo Feng ordered. Yes. The captain respectfully left the room. Depart. The moment he left the room, the captain immediately ordered. We haven't boarded the ship yet. Wait! We haven't even boarded the ship, why are we departing? The Undyings and Sector Lords outside, who wanted to head to the primal universe, were all anxious. The captain ordered, inform the control headquarters, tell them our ship is sending Lord Luo Feng to the primal universe, arrange another ship to send the other Undyings and Sector Lords. Lord Luo Feng's identity is not simple, information regarding him is forbidden to be leaked. These Undyings and Sector Lords, it's best if they don't come into contact with him. Yes. The crew member immediately went to inform the control headquarters. The ship passed through the universe pathway. Not long later, it arrived at Primal Chaos City. The captain and crew members stood on both sides to send him off. Luo Feng walked out of the cabin door and gazed down at Primal Chaos City. There wasn't much change from the first time he came. Only the people who came were different. South, Luo Feng took a step and headed towards Primal Chaos City. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:16. Primal Chaos City was the human race's holy land for training. Looking around, there were many ancient training residences, and on the roofs, there were many human experts sitting cross-legged. It was a thick atmosphere of training. Universe level? Luo Feng flew down from high above. He saw that there were actually universe levels on the balconies. This level of strength is actually able to come to Primal Chaos City. Don't tell me it's a genius battle participant from before? Look, it's Lord Luo Feng. It's Lord Luo Feng. A few of the warriors who were looking up at the Universe Origin Law engravings saw Luo Feng and immediately recognized him. After all, Luo Feng had only been famous for a short period of time. Humanity's most dazzling figure in the past 100,000 years was probably Luo Feng. Like the ancient ones like the Tianshi Palace leader, many of the warriors didn't recognize him. If over 1 trillion years had passed, these warriors would have either died of old age or fallen. The information regarding Luo Feng's identity was extremely high. Naturally, there would be very few who could recognize him. However, right now, Luo Feng was extremely dazzling. That's Lord Luo Feng from the legendary genius battle 110,000 years ago? It's Lord Luo Feng. 110,000 years ago, of the 3 absolute geniuses from the genius battle, Bolin and Rongjun have already broken through to Undying, and they've already become emperors. Lord Luo Feng has long since stepped into the universe country leader and knight level. Powerful, it's said that even universe knights have fallen under his hands. The universe level punks were all excited. They looked at Luo Feng, even more shocked than when Luo Feng looked at the Nine-Blade Knight back then. After all, Luo Feng had risen from the genius battle 110,000 years ago. Secondly, his fame, the rumors, were much stronger than the Nine-Blade Knight. It was just that these Undyings, Sector Lords, Domain Lords and Universe levels had lower statuses. They didn't know about Luo Feng killing the Universe Tyrants, otherwise they would be even more shocked. Such high-level information, the Universe Knights all knew about it, and amongst the Emperor-level Undyings, only the well-informed ones knew about it. Generation after generation of genius battle participants continue to rise, only then will humanity's warrior numbers grow. Luo Feng glanced below and revealed a smile, after which he took a step and swiftly headed towards the city leader's residence. Luo Feng entered the residence, his consciousness connecting to the virtual universe. Ever since the news spread back then and the virtual universe was shut down, this was the first time he opened it. Mail 82,901. 9,010 call requests. 106 important emails. 11 important call requests. As soon as the call connected, the virtual assistant Babata's subsidiary AI, immediately notified Luo Feng. So many emails? Luo Feng walked within the city leader's residence. At the same time his consciousness began to swiftly read, simultaneously opening all the mail. With the speed of his consciousness, he quickly read through all of them. Apart from the primal Chaos City Lord, there are actually 3 other universe lords contacting me. Especially the Great Axe Creator, he actually contacted me as well. Luo Feng's eyes flashed with shock. The 3 universe lords and the creator of the huge axe had sent him a simple congratulatory mail. It seemed simple. But what kind of status did they have? The master of the universe and the strongest expert in the universe. The emails they sent were extraordinary. I'll reply with a thank you. Luo Feng immediately replied to the 3 universe lords and the creator of the huge axe. After dealing with these matters, Luo Feng then requested to contribute treasures to his race. Only by doing so would he be able to enter the city leader's residence. The bronze door slowly opened. Luo Feng stepped in and the bronze door closed again. Let's begin. Luo Feng waved his hand. Hua! Immediately, the treasures floated in midair and floated towards the stone plate in the center of the side hall. Countless rays of green light rose and enveloped the treasures. These treasures were all acquired by Luo Feng through many battles. There were a total of 4 high-level treasures. Even if I contribute all 4 of them, it still won't be enough. Luo Feng thought. Back then when Luo Feng was thrown into the whirlpool pathway by the craftsman Godlord, he had killed the Flying Blade Knight and acquired 2 treasures, one of which was a high-level treasure. And after returning from the Beast God world and entering Primal Star for close to a year, he had killed many universe tyrants and large amounts of knights, acquiring a total of 4 high-level treasures. After killing Tian Kuan Knight, his gains were plentiful. Other than the flowing light wings and the divergent mirror stone, there were also his attack set treasures, high-level armor and normal domain treasures. However, the Netherworld Ocean Clone had taken 3 of the high-level treasures. Hence, right now Luo Feng didn't need to use the high-level treasures, including the 8 shuttles, a total of 5. Luo Feng kept one of the high-level armor and gave the other 4 to his race. Contributing 4 high-level treasures, only 52. 1 treasure points, it's quite a distance from 1 top-level treasure. Luo Feng shook his head. Following closely, Luo Feng began to exchange for the treasures. A normal flying palace treasure Mu-He boat, however it was an earth element treasure, it required 23 treasure points. An ordinary domain-type treasure, the Blaze World, required 18 treasure points. A high-level blade weapon Bo-He, similar to the Blood Shadow Blade, required 9 treasure points. The 3 supreme treasures cost 50 supreme treasure points. Primal Chaos City, True Yan's residence. Senior. Senior. Senior, you're back. Junior. Luo Feng walked within the residence. Along the way, the seniors and juniors he met were all very respectful and reserved. Firstly, Luo Feng hadn't interacted with them for long, and secondly, as True Yan's disciples, they were very well informed. They knew that many other universe tyrants had fallen by Luo Feng's hands. Luo Feng, however, smiled and casually greeted them. After he left, the group of seniors and juniors immediately began to discuss excitedly. Junior Luo Feng is too strong, even universe tyrants have fallen. Isn't he close to the universe lord level? He has already far surpassed teacher. I believe that the leader of Great Alliance Palace will one day take his place. Luo Feng could clearly hear the distant discussions, however he was calm as water, walking towards Tru Yan's residence. Teacher. Luo Feng stood outside the door. Enter. The door automatically opened. Tru Yan sat at the distant table, there was already good wine on it. Hee teacher, this wine is good, it's quite expensive. Luo Feng reached the table in 2 steps and sat opposite. He immediately picked up a container of wine and looked carefully. This is the era level Zhigui wine? My disciple's name has risen, the trillions of races in the universe know of him. Everyone treats you as an absolute being. If it was a normal race, your strength would be enough to lead the entire race to dominate the universe. Tru Yan rubbed his golden beard, looking proud. Even many universe tyrants have fallen by my disciple's hands. How can I not celebrate this? How can I feel heartache for the wine at this time? Luo Feng blinked. Teacher, if you praise me too much, I'll get arrogant. You can even fly. Venerable Tru Yan joked. This made Luo Feng's heart warm, almost as though he had returned to the past. Tru Yan's character was very direct, and he would often joke around with his disciples, not caring about the difference in status between them. You're not drinking? Tru Yan poured himself another cup. Yes, of course I'll drink. Luo Feng said. Haha, come, I'll fill it up for you. I'll do it myself. Luo Feng and Tru Yan drank and chatted about the happenings in the outside world. Luo Feng had been training these past few days, however the outside world had indeed changed greatly. You've indeed scared the universe aliens quite a bit this time. Tru Yan put down his wine cup and exclaimed, Your growth speed has even shocked me, your teacher, much less the aliens. The universe is filled with news. They all say that if you continue to grow, you'll very likely reach the primal Chaos City Lord level. There are many alien spies. The races have even hunted and killed large amounts of them. Some of them even tried to infiltrate primal Chaos City, and even my sect. Tru Yan looked at Luo Feng. The races have killed many spies, however they still can't kill enough. Obviously the alien races have already spared no expense. They would rather expose large amounts of spies, or even madly search for your information. Luo Feng nodded. Every single one of those spies in hiding is not a small price to pay. However, right now, they're losing them one by one. According to my calculations, the alien races already know your training in the God Country, and are currently investigating your God Country's location. The Bug Clan, Automaton Clan, Demon Clan. They're probably thinking of ways to enter the human territory to kill you. Tru Yan said, otherwise there's no need to rush, you have to be careful. Ha, Luo Feng laughed. Teacher, let's not talk about that, I've long prepared. The reason I came to see you today is because of other matters. Luo Feng waved his hand, 3 treasures floated in the air. One was a yellow wooden boat, one was a crystal ball, and one was a black suit of armor. The wooden boat was a flying palace-type treasure, the crystal ball was a domain-type treasure fan world, and the black armor was a high-level treasure. With these 3 treasures on him, Tru Yan's ability to survive would reach an extremely high level. However, normal soul-type treasures cost at least 36 treasure points. Luo Feng couldn't afford it. This is... Tru Yan stood up, shocked as he looked at the 3 treasures. Teacher, your disciple is about to leave the human territory for a trip. Luo Feng said respectfully, if I'm not mistaken, I'm afraid there'll be a bloodbath. Teacher is your disciple's teacher. Your disciple is afraid of bringing trouble to teacher. These 3 treasures can also help teacher. I hope teacher won't reject them. Luo Feng was afraid that Tru Yan wouldn't accept the gifts. Hence, he didn't introduce the true value of these 3 treasures. You're leaving the human territory? Tru Yan was shocked. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. He still had to get the Star Tower and the 5th black metal board, of course he had to leave. Do you know, the Automaton Clan, Bug Clan, Demon Clan? They'll definitely eliminate you, Even if you're in the human territory, you'll probably be assassinated. You're still going out? Once you leave, without the protection of human warriors, it'll be very dangerous. Tru Yen was anxious. Your disciple also knows, this trip will definitely be a bloodbath. Luo Feng smiled, but teacher, don't worry. Luo Feng slightly bowed. Your disciple will leave first. Turning around, Luo Feng took a step and disappeared. Tru Yen saw this scene and went silent for a long time. He understood. Luo Feng had already reached a higher level. 3 treasures. Even an overlord of the universe only has 3 treasures. Reverend Tru Yen thought that they were just ordinary treasures. He immediately stretched out his finger and shot out a thread of divine power that quickly penetrated into the 3 treasures. Suddenly, a surge of information came to him. Flying palace type, realm type, high-grade treasure armor. Tru Yen stood there for a long time, leaving without telling me. Are you afraid I won't accept it after knowing? This disciple of mine. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Sweat, shame, it took me so long to finish. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11-17. The City Leader's Residence, Primal Chaos Ruins. Luo Feng left Tru Yan's residence and went to see the Primal Chaos City Leader. Regarding his suggestion of using the Divergent Mirror Stone to exchange for half of the rights to Earth, Luo Feng was actually quite unhappy. However, he understood. The Primal Chaos City Leader was just one of the 10 Universe Lords of humanity. Even though he was strong, he wasn't at the level where no one dared to resist like the creator of the huge axe. And over these long years, the Primal Chaos City Leader had been carefully teaching and guiding. This made Luo Feng respect his teacher's heart and character. The 2 teachers, Tru Yen and the Primal Chaos City Leader, had completely different personalities. Tru Yen was very direct. His nature was filled with a sense of violence, treating others well. He would disregard everything else. Back when he found out that Luo Feng was being chased by Bark Mirror Emperor, even though he wasn't 100% confident, he still went to battle in a fit of rage. The Primal Chaos City Leader was in charge of humanity. Most of humanity's matters were decided by him. Humanity's rise, prosperity, all sorts of decisions, he put his heart and soul into them. He always paid attention to fairness, treating his disciples with consideration for the race as his priority. At least this made Luo Feng respect the Primal Chaos City Leader. Teacher. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. An ancient and complicated dark red armor, a scaled tail extended from the skirt, a pair of fiery red horns with engravings and a fierce face, this was another one of the Primal Chaos City Leader's clones. Only those eyes were as vast as the endless starry skies, causing one to be immersed in them without fear. What, you wish to see me? The Primal Chaos City Leader said. Your disciple will temporarily leave the human domain. Before I leave, I'll explain to you. Luo Feng said. Ah, looks like you went to see Tru Yen for this too. The Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. He was in charge of the Primal Universe, hence he could easily find out anything that happened there. However, the conversation between Luo Feng and Tru Yen, the Primal Chaos City Leader, couldn't eavesdrop. Naturally, he didn't know. You know of the dangers outside? The Primal Chaos City Leader said. Yes. Luo Feng nodded seriously. The Bug Clan, Demon Clan, Automaton, they are all thinking of ways to get rid of me. You still want to leave? The Primal Chaos City Leader continued. Luo Feng nodded. Then go. You are no longer a weakling. You should be the one to make all the decisions. The Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. As long as you remember, you don't just represent yourself, you represent your family, your Earth bloodline. That's all I need to remember. Yes. Luo Feng nodded and bowed. Then this disciple will leave. Go. The Primal Chaos City Master said, if you meet with danger and can't handle it, crush the token I gave you. Luo Feng nodded. With a ripple in space, he vanished from the Chaos Ruins. In this Chaos Ruins, only the primal Chaos City leader was left. This disciple of mine has been lying low for nearly 20,000 years. He has just appeared, and his strength is already this strong. The Chaos City Master thought to himself. Now that he's leaving the human domain, he must have had a special encounter, and this special encounter is somewhere in the universe. The primal Chaos City leader had guessed this long ago, however he wouldn't disturb Luo Feng. In his opinion, Luo Feng had the Nine Hells clone. Even if he suffered a huge loss outside the human territories, he could easily revive himself. At most, he would lose some treasures. Since that's the case, then Luo Feng will naturally walk his own path. Insect race, demon race, machine race? If you all knew Luo Feng had the Nine Hells clone, you would probably despair. No matter how big of a price you all paid, you would at most be able to kill Luo Feng's clone and get some treasures. You want to kill him? The primal Chaos City Master was very confident. Even though he specialized in close combat, he was definitely a master of the soul. Plus, this was the primal universe he controlled. Within the primal universe, he could roughly judge. Luo Feng's willpower and consciousness wasn't any weaker than a universe lord's. God energy determined consciousness. Consciousness affected willpower too. Training for 180 million years, along with breaking through to the universe night, Luo Feng's willpower and consciousness had indeed reached the universe lord level. However, the primal Chaos City Master guessed wrongly. If the foreign races really killed Luo Feng's clone, then the treasures they would get would be the Calamity Armor, Wu Killing Wings, Beast God Armor, etc. Any one of them would be a huge gain for the foreign races. Leaving Primal Chaos City, he first returned to his God Country and then used the God Country's teleportation array to head to the outer region battlefield Star Tower. Within the majestic Star Tower that had stood in space for countless years, within the core palace, a misty gray light lit up. Luo Feng walked out. Star Tower. Luo Feng surveyed the cold palace. Back then, this was where he received the life and death inheritance. With my current God energy, I should be able to activate the Star Tower. Rumble. The God energy on the surface of Luo Feng's body immediately ignited. The burning God energy flowed along the ground of the palace and spread outwards. Like a current of electricity, it swiftly flowed layer by layer, entering the core of the Star Tower, passing through the many huge heaven-reaching pillars and countless ceiling stars, etc. The burning God energy was like a river flowing in a canal, flowing through the heaven-reaching pillars and the countless engravings on the ceiling stars, etc. However, the engravings were too complicated. Luo Feng had no idea at all. He could only vaguely understand the simplest and most basic part. In an instant, the burning God energy infused into every part of the Star Tower. Rise! Luo Feng roared. Wung, the entire Star Tower floated up by 20 centimeters and then slowly descended by 20 centimeters. With its huge size that was measured in light years, no one could even sense this tiny ripple. Luo Feng retracted his God energy. At the same time, the golden-horned beast in his world ring was sending waves of God energy over, swiftly replenishing his energy. My Earth body is also a universe knight with 9,800 times the genetic level. I feel that I can activate the Star Tower now. However, the consumption of God energy is too much. If I didn't have the golden-horned beast replenishing me, just that activation alone would consume close to 30% of my God body. Luo Feng was shocked. Looks like my understanding of the Star Tower's engravings is too little. Using a strong God energy, he could forcefully activate it. However, the consumption of God energy would be ridiculous. If he could comprehend the wonders of the Star Tower's activation, it would be much easier. Luo Feng left the core palace and began to wander within the Star Tower. Using the teleportation within the tower, he headed towards various locations. The heaven-reaching pillars, one couldn't even see the end of it. Luo Feng caressed the huge engravings on the heaven-reaching pillars. He couldn't help but exclaim, "It's unbelievable! Even the simplest engravings feel so perfect. And the entire star tower's countless engravings are even more complex and complete than the miniature universe engravings. It's too indeed an absolute treasure." Walking everywhere, looking at the heaven-reaching pillars, looking at the countless ceiling stars, even looking at the many spaces within the tower. Within those spaces, there were large amounts of other races fighting and killing. However, Luo Feng could see the incomparably complex wonders of every space's formation. Looking everywhere, carefully experiencing everything. After a total of 32 days, Luo Feng returned to the core palace. He closed his eyes and sat crossed-legged. His consciousness completely merged with the entire star tower. All of the engravings within the star tower floated within his mind. Luo Feng began to concentrate on his research. As the saying goes, sharpening one's knife doesn't hold up the work of chopping wood. The more thorough his research into the star tower's engravings, naturally he would be able to unleash even more power. Mysterious, complex, time, space, gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, light. It was as though all sorts of origin laws were mixed within, and perfectly fused together. It was 10,000 times more complex than the miniature universe engravings. After all, the miniature universe engravings only had a diameter of 10 billion kilometers. And this star tower was 9 light-years tall. If the miniature universe engravings were a small room, then the star tower would be a skyscraper formed from countless small rooms. Luckily, I'm from the engraving school. Otherwise, if I only knew the space and gold laws, who knows how long it would take for me to fully comprehend them. Sitting crossed-legged for close to 3 years, Luo Feng finally opened his eyes. I've finally comprehended a level of wonder. If he didn't understand, he would only feel that he didn't understand the star tower at all. However, after truly comprehending a level, only then did he realize how vast the star tower was, and how powerful it was. With my abilities, I've only comprehended one level. Luo Feng looked up at the core palace. It's about there. Activating it should be much easier now. Rumble. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. His entire body immediately ignited with God energy. Endless amounts of God energy swiftly flowed through, immediately filling this 9 light-year tall star tower. The entire engraving's outermost and simplest first level could already be activated. This made Luo Feng feel 100 to 1,000 times more relaxed than before. Before I take it away, I'll have to chase away all the foreign warriors that are exploring the star tower. Luo Feng thought. Rumble, 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 rumble. Within the pathways at the lowest level of the star tower, the silhouettes of the various races of the universe were blown out one by one. In an instant, over 1 million different races appeared outside the tower. All of them were completely stunned. What's going on? I was just exploring inside before, after which I was sent to the pathway and blown out. I was blown out too. Why would the star tower blow us out? Every passageway was filled with a large number of foreign race warriors. These foreign race warriors came from different clans and camps, yet none of them were fighting. All of them were extremely shocked. Ever since the Star Tower appeared in the extraterritorial battlefield for countless years, such a scene had never happened before. They actually chased the cultivators out of the place? That was too strange. Look, the 9-spiral nebula has disappeared. The 9-spiral nebula has disappeared. The millions of undying warriors in space were completely stunned. That powerful 9-spiral nebula had immediately disappeared. Look, the Star Tower is becoming smaller. It's becoming smaller! 9 light-years tall, almost like a majestic star tower that covered half of the universe, it swiftly shrunk at a shocking speed. In a blink of an eye, it went from 9 light-years to 1 kilometer tall. A mere 1 kilometer tall star tower, following closely, it vanished into thin air, completely disappearing. The Star Tower has disappeared. How can this be? Shock and fear. Following which, the news spread like wildfire back to the various races. Even though no one intentionally fanned the flames, the news of the Star Tower disappearing was even faster than the news of Luo Feng killing a universe tyrant back then, because the shock of this news was thousands to tens of thousands of times stronger. An absolute treasure that had long been coveted by the trillions of races in the universe had actually disappeared? P.S. Chapter 1 has ended. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11:18. Within the virtual universe, within the space belonging to the creator of the huge act. In the endless darkness, there were specks of starlight in the distance. A simple palace floated in the center of the dark void. On the long stone table in front of the palace, silhouettes appeared one by one within moments, including the creator of the huge axe, the primal Chaos City leader, the desolate Mirror Master, etc. They all arrived. Their faces were filled with shock and disbelief. I believe everyone already knows. The creator of the huge axe gazed around. The Star Pagoda has disappeared. We just found out. How could the Star Pagoda disappear? It's been in the void for countless years. Even the strongest in the universe can't forcefully take it away. How could it suddenly disappear? No matter how high their positions were, how strong their mental states were, the universe masters were still filled with shock and disbelief. The creator of the huge axe pointed in mid-air. Hua! A scene appeared in the distant darkness. It was the Star Pagoda blasting the million alien race Undying Warriors out, followed by the 9 spiral nebula dispersing, the Star Pagoda shrinking and teleporting away. Without a doubt, the primal Chaos City leader said softly. It's obvious that some strong warrior truly controlled the Star Pagoda. That's why he could instantly blast out the millions of Undying Warriors from the different races. That's why the 9 spiral nebula disappeared, and the Star Pagoda shrunk and teleported away. Who has such power? Back then we, the automaton race, bug race, demon race, for this treasure that suddenly appeared, we all slaughtered each other. However, in the end, our 4 top races couldn't do anything about it. Even the huge axe personally went in and couldn't bring it away. A universe master dressed in beautiful gold armor with a purple engraving on his forehead said, Master of Void Gold is right. Purely relying on strength, who can succeed? It was noisy. The universe masters of the human race all expressed their opinions. The creator of the huge axe nodded. Everyone has a common understanding. Purely relying on strength is indeed impossible to take back the Star Pagoda. After all, the Star Tower has been in the extraterritorial battlefield for countless years. It's not just us 4 peak clans, even the other major forces of the universe, whether it's the Ancestor God Cult, the Giant Star Beast Alliance, the Northern Border Alliance, and other super forces, or some of the weaker forces, have all secretly tried, but clearly none of them succeeded. The Masters of the Universe nodded. Including me, the strongest people in the universe have also tried. The creator of the huge axe shook his head. They all failed. Strength alone won't do. Taking back the Star Tower requires luck. The creator of the huge axe said, I'm guessing that it should be a lucky expert who managed to reclaim it by chance, and the true super-existences in the universe had tried a very long time ago, so the one who reclaimed the Star Tower shouldn't be a very strong existence. A weakling? Undying? Universe paragons? Immediately, the Masters of the Universe spoke up. No matter who he is, as long as he can control the Star Tower, he's not a weakling. The great axe creator's gaze swept across. Hiding in the Star Tower, even I can't do anything about it. The Masters of the Universe nodded. At the same time, their eyes were filled with envy. A supreme treasure. The dignified human race, one of the top races, didn't even have a supreme treasure guarding it. Every supreme treasure's power was unbelievably strong, and even their characteristics were extremely strange. Even the strongest experts in the universe coveted them. After all, although the number of strongest experts in the universe was extremely rare, there were only a few of them. But there was still a portion that didn't have a supreme treasure. The creator of the huge axe didn't have one. We must investigate. The creator of the huge axe ordered, use the resources of the Great Alliance to start a detailed investigation. We must find out who exactly has the Star Tower. If it's a weakling, he can't possibly hide in the Star Tower forever. We still have a chance to get the Star Tower from him, and even find out how he controls it. Yes. Yes. The Masters of the Universe all accepted the order. The creator of the huge axe said solemnly, "Our human race is lacking a supreme treasure. We must find a way to get it. In the universe belonging to the automaton race. My children, go investigate. Find out who has the Star Tower. Even if he has a supreme treasure, he can't possibly hide in the Star Tower forever. If it's a weakling, he definitely has a chance to snatch the Star Tower." The voice that represented the greatest existence of the automaton race spread to every corner of the universe. Yes, Father. Yes, Father. The Masters of the Universe of the automaton race all accepted the order. Hua. In the endless starry sky, a huge existence covered in black scales slowly appeared. In an instant, the surrounding area of several light years was instantly engulfed in an endless world of black flames. The planets and stars within this area were instantly annihilated and dissipated like bubbles. Only this majestic existence was eternal. It's been a long time since I've returned to the primeval universe. What a familiar smell. This is my home. If not for the Star Tower, I don't know how long it would take for me to return from the cosmic sea. Back then, I couldn't even bring the Star Tower away. There's actually a little fellow in the primeval universe who succeeded. I must find the Star Tower, find that little fellow, and find out how he controls the Star Tower. If not for the lack of a supreme treasure, I wouldn't have been defeated by that old beast god from the giant space beast. The black scales moved slowly. Wha! It disappeared into thin air. The 9 superpowers of the universe were all itching to make a move. The temptation of a supreme treasure was too great. Even the few most transcendent experts of the universe, the loners, had begun to make their move, not to mention the masters of the universe who led their clans. Some clans only had a single master of the universe, so they naturally desired the Star Tower even more. If I get the Star Tower, I won't even have to fear the strongest in the universe. When that time comes, my Tuama race will have hope of becoming an elite race. The shocking news of the human Luo Feng killing a universe tyrant was nothing compared to the disappearance of the supreme treasure, the Star Tower. An absolute treasure that was enough to shake the foundations of an elite race. It was already the most valuable existence in the entire universe. This caused the gazes of the trillions of races to gather on the Star Tower. However, the amount of attention on Luo Feng decreased. Only the demon race, automaton race and bug race that wanted to kill Luo Feng the most didn't relax at all. Ancestral God Secret Region, Purple Thorn Island. The commotion caused by the disappearance of the Star Tower is really huge. It's completely out of control. Luo Feng appeared in his own mansion on Purple Thorn Island. This was already the 3rd day since he acquired the Star Tower. Ever since he acquired it, he began to understand the commotion outside through the virtual universe. Commotion. From the Great Alliance to the Universe Lords, down to the Undyings that went to the foreign battlefields, they were all discussing this. And this was just the Great Alliance. The other powers in the universe, from the news spread within the Great Alliance, they were all obviously going crazy over it. No wonder teacher sitting passenger strictly ordered me not to reveal any information about the Star Tower. Luo Feng exclaimed. If I was exposed back then, and the outside world knew I could control the Star Tower, Just sitting passenger alone wouldn't have been able to protect me. Luckily, the current me already has the ability to protect myself, allowing me to gain a foothold in this turbulent universe. Striding forward, Luo Feng opened the door to his mansion and flew towards the plaza in front of the Purple Thorn Island leader's palace. Look, Luo Feng. It's the human Luo Feng. He actually returned to Purple Thorn Island. I haven't seen him for close to 20,000 years. Luo Feng has the strength of an elite tyrant. It's no surprise that he rarely comes to Purple Thorn Island. There were many warriors from different races on Purple Thorn Island. Immediately a group of foreign race inheritors spotted Luo Feng and began to discuss. Luo Feng flew towards the plaza. Through the water screen of the fountain, he headed straight towards the inheritance grounds. One should know that he had a lot of inheritance opportunities. After a while, Luo Feng came out and flew directly to his mansion in the distance. After meditating in the mansion for 5 days, he once again headed to the inheritance grounds to receive the inheritance. Meditating. Inheritance. Meditating. Inheritance. Luo Feng received an inheritance almost every few days, which attracted the attention of a large number of cultivators on Purple Thorn Island. Luo Feng received a huge number of inheritances after crazily challenging others. But no matter how many he receives, is it really necessary to waste it like this? It's useless to receive an inheritance without the experience of training. What a waste! There were many such discussions. However, Luo Feng was still the same as before. He just shook his head at those discussions. My attainment in the School of Secret Patterns is extremely high. Every time I receive an inheritance, I can quickly comprehend a large amount of the way of the Beast God. How fast is my training speed? Without comprehension, one wouldn't understand the Beast God inheritance at all. However, because of Luo Feng's high attainment in the School of Secret Patterns, he could comprehend a large amount of information after each inheritance. When he received an inheritance again, he could make further progress. After all, in terms of level, Luo Feng's secret technique was at the ultimate level of the Lord of the Universe. Coupled with the heart of the Beast God, it was naturally very easy for him to receive the way of the Beast God. After receiving an inheritance every 5 days, Luo Feng completely comprehended the 4th level of the way of the Beast God after just 3 inheritances. It was like asking a college student to study the content of an elementary school student. Coupled with the extremely fast method of receiving an inheritance, it was naturally very fast. However, the progress of the 5th level of the Beast God was obviously much slower. Hurry up and report to the clan that Luo Feng is on Purple Thorn Island. Damn Luo Feng, he's actually on Purple Thorn Island. To kill Luo Feng, we need the Lord of the Universe. However, if any of us show up on Purple Thorn Island, we'll be immediately annihilated by the colorful Aurora Lake. We don't have the authority to enter that place. If he hides in the human territory, he can still go there. However, the Ancestor God sect is stronger than humans. If Luo Feng hides on Purple Thorn Island, there's nothing we can do. The Insect Clan, the Monster Clan, and the Mechanical Clan were also troubled by this. Luo Feng continued to train in peace on Purple Thorn Island. After 2 months of interstellar travel, my golden horned beast clone has finally arrived at the location of the 5th black metal plate. On Purple Thorn Island, Luo Feng revealed a smile. P.S. That's the 2nd chapter. Brothers, the monthly votes are really awesome. Tomato will continue to write the 3rd chapter. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 11-19. 2 months ago, after acquiring the Star Tower, Luo Feng split into 2 groups. Luo Feng's Earth body came to Cirrus Island with the Masha clansmen. On the surface, he attracted the attention of the alien races and began to train openly. Every time he went to the inheritance ground, he would fly there instead of teleporting. Obviously, he wanted the alien races to find him on purpose. The golden-horned beast used the god country to teleport to a distant territory in the universe. Then, it slowly flew in a ship in the dark universe and finally arrived at its destination, the Guji region. My attainment in the engravings is extremely high. If it wasn't for the bet with the ancestor back then, I would have reached an extremely high level. In the aspect of laws, I'm afraid I've long since reached an extremely high level. I've even long since mastered the 6th level of the way of the beast god. However, focusing on the school of mystical pattern diagrams is indeed extremely beneficial to me. However, the ancestral god sex beast god inheritance is also very helpful. Without the beast god inheritance, just the 4th level, I estimate it would take me 10 years. The 5th level would probably take me 10,000 years. Luo Feng thought. This was because of his attainment in the engravings and the beast god's heart. However, with the beast god inheritance, my efficiency has reached a limit. As long as I can accept and absorb it, I can absorb it again and again. Looks like I'll have to stay on Circe's island for a while. Luo Feng became a beam of light and swiftly flew out of the mansion, heading straight for the plaza in front of the island leader. Luo Feng is out. Every few days, he goes to the beast god inheritance. What a regular pattern. Some of the other races immediately recorded the information. They were ordered to collect all information. To kill the future absolute being of humanity, Luo Feng, information was obviously very important. Record it. Record all my movements. You guys have completely miscalculated my strength. One wrong move and every subsequent move will be wrong. I'll let you guys know what it means to go for wool and come home shorn. Luo Feng once again flew into the screen of the fountain and teleported to the inheritance grounds. The Guji region was a universe secret region with a maximum diameter of 1.2 million light-years. Even though it was much smaller than the ancestral god secret region, it was still very dangerous. A seemingly ordinary dark red spaceship was flying in the void. Within the control room, a 1-meter-long cute golden-horned beast was standing on a sofa, looking at the outside world. According to the information given by Mr. Mountain Traveler, the 5th black metal plate is in the Ancient Qin Secret Realm. Ancient Qin Secret Realm, within Golden Horn Luo Feng's mind floated large amounts of information regarding the Ancient Qin region from the virtual universe. The Ancient Qin region was an extremely ancient secret region. During the universe's early stages, there had been many great battles here, all to snatch the treasures within the Ancient Qin region. Slowly, the treasures within Guji secret region dwindled. Because there were too few treasures, and it was extremely dangerous, the absolute beings didn't come anymore. Only a few undyings and universe knights would occasionally come to try their luck. The environment was extremely dangerous, and most of the treasures had been taken. Because of these two reasons, very few foreign races came to the Ancient Qin Secret Realm. Even many special lifeforms had left, leaving only a few special lifeforms to continue living here. This place had become somewhat desolate, with very few life forms appearing. A nearly abandoned universe secret region. It's extremely dangerous and there are very few treasures. The 5th black metal plate was hidden here? Teacher Mountain Passenger really knows how to find a place. Woo. I've already sensed it. The adorable golden horned beast that was originally standing on the sofa, suddenly's eyes gleamed. At this time, every single cell in its body seemed to be trembling. A powerful call was transmitted over. Shwa. The golden-horned beast teleported outside the universe ship and kept it in its world ring. It's in that direction. Golden Horn Luo Feng teleported and swiftly headed towards the direction he sensed. The universe secret region was extremely peculiar and dangerous. However, to the golden-horned beast that was even more terrifying than the pinnacle of universe tyrants, it easily passed through. The 5th black metal plate. Golden Horn Luo Feng raised his head and gazed into the distance. Endless black energy permeated the space. It was impossible to see clearly what was within the darkness. However, the strong call made Luo Feng extremely certain. The final black metal plate of the 9-level secret manual was right there. Even though the golden horned beast didn't need it anymore, his earth body needed it very much. The moment it reached the perfect gene level, his earth body would be able to reach a height of over 90,000 kilometers. His god energy reserves would be much higher, and he would be able to unleash the I Am the universe. Be careful. 9 Ming River. The golden horned beast's thoughts move. Rumble, in space, the endless golden river water surged and surged, enveloping a 30 million kilometers area. Within the endless golden waves, there were 9 excited beasts, and those 9 beasts surrounded the black golden horned beast that rode on the waves. Advance. Golden Horn Luo Feng slowly flew into the darkness. The 9 Ming River swept the surroundings, scanning for any dangers. In the blink of an eye, they had already flown over 100 million kilometer voila in the darkness. A huge creature flew past, staring at the black golden horned beast that was surrounded by the golden waves. The golden horned beast continued to fly deeper into the darkness, maintaining the 9 Ming River and even activating the space lock. He was extremely careful. He could feel that he was being watched by a powerful warrior. I knew it. Teacher wouldn't let me get the 5th black metal plate so easily. Golden Horn Luo Feng was extremely careful. Suddenly, rumble! There was an explosion. A huge silhouette appeared from the endless darkness, rushing straight into his 9 Ming River domain. Rumble! The 9 Ming River's resistance was extremely strong, however it couldn't stop this huge silhouette. That huge silhouette broke through the waves with extreme speed, swiftly breaking through the 9 Ming River's waves and heading towards Luo Feng. Only then did Luo Feng see clearly. It was a black crystal giant. Its height was at least 1,000,000 km, waving its 6 huge arms, each holding a huge red hammer. Black Sky Leader? Golden Horn Luo Feng was shocked. Within the ancient Qin region, there were a few extremely powerful special life forms, of which the Black Sky Leader was an existence comparable to the strongest world tree, the pinnacle of the universe. It was a one-of-a-kind mountain giant. Its life genetic level was rumored to be at least 8,000 times. The 6 godly hammers it had were all high-level treasures. Along with its natural talents and techniques, it was unparalleled. Big trouble. Golden Horn Luo Feng looked at the roaring mountain giant breaking through the waves, feeling a headache. I can defeat him, however 1,000,000 km body, to kill him, it's too difficult. Get out! Get out! The Black Sky Leader roared, breaking through the waves. Black Sky Leader, I didn't mean to offend you, however, don't stop me. The golden horned beast that was only a meter long instantly grew bigger. In the blink of an eye, it became 1,000,000 km long golden horned beast covered in black scales, staring at the Black Sky Lord. Golden horned beast, this isn't a place you can come to. The Black Sky Leader roared as he charged over. The waves of the 9 Ming River with a radius of 30 million kilometers. In a short while, the Black Sky Leader had already rushed past the obstacle. Get out of the way! The golden horned beast roared, immediately becoming a glaring golden light. Sharp, cold. The huge scaled wings unleashed a huge golden blade light that slashed straight at the Black Sky Leader. The Black Sky Leader was a famous being in the universe, even though he had always lived in the ancient Qin region and rarely showed himself. His strength definitely didn't lose to the Tianshi Palace Leader or the strongest world tree, the pinnacle of the universe. Damn! The Black Sky Leader roared madly. The black crystals on his body suddenly began to emit golden engravings. Countless golden engravings covered his entire chest. Back in an instant, the surrounding space began to tear and revolve, causing the golden horned beast to feel as though a black hole had appeared. With a mad roar, the 6 hammers in the Black Sky Lord's hands smashed over. Every single hammer, under the control of a special technique, combined with his natural abilities, It formed 6 visible black space whirlpools directly smashing towards Luo Feng. The sky was dark. Under the Black Sky Leader's ultimate move, the surrounding light was completely swallowed. It was pitch black. Only through the 9 Ming River domain, Luo Feng could feel the 6 whirlpools attacking. Puing, the dazzling golden wings of light slashed down, and the 6 black spatial vortexes with monstrous power were completely destroyed. Immediately after, the golden wings of light slashed onto the chest of the Black Sky Lord. Hua, the Black Sky Lord was immediately sent flying by the wing blade. He tumbled in the 9 Peaks River before he managed to stand up. The surrounding 100 million kilometers area of space had long become a weak particle flow. The endless particles began to condense and recover. What a powerful golden horned beast! I can't beat you. The Black Sky Leader roared and swiftly flew out. The golden horned beast didn't stop him. Because of the beast god armor, every part of his body could be used for battle. However, obviously the strongest was the horn. However, Luo Feng knew that to kill the Black Sky Leader with a body that was as pure as his was a million km. It was simply too difficult. All he had to do was make the Black Sky Leader retreat. Golden Horned Beast. The moment the Black Sky Leader flew out of the 9 Ming River domain, he turned and communicated through his god energy. This isn't a place for you. You are stronger than me. I respect your strength. However, if you don't want to die, you'd better leave. If you continue charging in, my master will definitely kill you. The Black Sky Leader's huge body became a beam of light and entered the endless darkness. The Black Sky Leader's words shocked Luo Feng within. His master. The Black Sky Leader is an elite universe overlord. With such a huge body, even the universe lord would have a headache trying to kill him. He actually has a master. Teacher, just where did you put the 5th black metal board? Luo Feng immediately understood. This definitely wasn't simple. Let's see. I want to see just who the Black Sky Leader's master is. Even if it's the strongest warrior in the universe, I don't fear him. Luo Feng pondered for a moment, following which the golden wave continued to rush forward. The golden horned beast was in the center of the 9 Ming River, majestically and continuously entering the darkness. P.S. 3 chapters completed. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation.